Welcome, commissioners, CDE staff, and members of the public watching remotely. I'm Sharice Guerra, Chair of the Instructional Quality Commission, and I call this meeting to order. Public comment on today's meeting agenda items may be provided during the meeting either in person or by signing up on the sheet located in the back table or by dialing 717-90-1926 and then following a prompt to provide a participant access code. Callers will then be added to a queue. The operator will notify callers when it's their turn to provide public comment. If possible, we recommend members of the public dialing in for public comment continue to view the live stream of the meeting for a better understanding of the meeting's status. When it's your turn, please mute the live cast audio. When giving public comment, please state the following: commenter's first and last name, organization affiliation if any, public comment. Again, the phone number is 717-908-1926. The access code is 1166083, hashtag or pound sign. The phone number and access code will also be announced at the start of the public comment for each item. This is also outlined on the September 17th, 2025 IQC agenda posted on the IQC webpage. Now I will introduce each commissioner participating in today's meeting. When I call your name, unmute your microphone and confirm your attendance, then mute your microphone again. Commissioner Lena Bradshaw.
Present.
Commissioner Gina Danlier. Commissioner Jaquay Durant. Commissioner Cheryl Fry.
Present.
Commissioner Javier Hernandez.
Present.
Commissioner Jennifer Hicks.
Present.
Commissioner Janet Lanning.
Present.
Commissioner Neil McGaffey. Commissioner Alicia Regosa.
Present.
Commissioner Nikki Reyna Guerra.
Present.
Commissioner Ku Vang.
Present.
Commissioner Marcy Winower.
Present.
Commissioner Kimberly Young.
Present.
Commissioner Erica Zepeda.
Present.
Commissioner Ananya Akaraju.
Present.
Assembly Member James Ramos. Senator Ben Allen. I want to take a moment to recognize that today is our student member, Ananya Akaraju's first IQC meeting. Welcome, Ananya. So Student Commissioner is going to now lead us in the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are on item C, administration of oath of office. We are now going to have the administration of oath of office for our new student member. I will turn the meeting over to Board Member Glover Woods to swear Ananya in.
Good morning. Ananya, will you please join me here at the podium? If you would raise your right hand. I, Ananya Akaraju.
I, Ananya Akaraju.
Should we have it where they can hear you.
I, Ananya Akaraju,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
upon
which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Ananya.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Ananya, would you like to say a few words?
I just wanted to thank everyone on the commission for welcoming me today. It's so exciting to be the student commissioner for this term, and I'm really excited to see what we'll accomplish this year. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ananya, and welcome again. So the next item is item D, overview of the agenda. The agenda today remains unchanged and includes approving July 2nd and August 13th, 2025 IQC minutes, approve the revised 2026 IQC meeting dates, approve the draft personal finance curriculum guide for a public review and comment period, hold a public hearing on the submissions for the 2025 mathematics instructional materials adoption, K through 8, and approve and recommend to the State Board of Education the submission of the 2025 mathematics instructional materials adoption, K8. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes. And we're going to do the approval of minutes in two separate motions because many of you were not here for the August meeting. So the public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to give public comment on the minutes. You have the minutes for both July 2nd and August 13th IQC meeting before you. If you have substantive changes, please present them now. If there are minor changes not affecting the content, please email them to Denise Figueroa, IQC liaison. While we wait for any members of the public to call in, do any commissioners have any concerns or questions related to the draft minutes? Denise, is there any public comment?
There's none.
The public comment line for this item is now closed. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from from July 2nd, 2025?
I'll make the motion to approve.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Hicks. Is there a second to the motion?
Second it.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Winnower. Is there a discussion of the motion? I now call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Anyone abstaining from voting?
The motion passes.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from August 13th?
I motion to approve the minutes for August 13th.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Lanning. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
Oh, go ahead. Nope.
I second the motion.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Reina Guerra. Is there any discussion of the motion? I now call for a vote. All in favor? And all opposed? Anyone abstaining?
The motion passes.
Thank you. The next item is 1F, my chair report. I don't have an official chair report today. I just want to again thank everybody who participated this summer in the review of instructional materials, all of the panelists who took their time out of their summers to come together to go through the process. Seaford staff was amazing, and both of our State Board of Education board members and everybody who was involved in the process. The publishers, thank you again for your professionalism and adherence to the process. It was an amazing experience. So I just again wanted to appreciate everybody who was there, and commissioners, all of you who were able to participate. Thank you again. It was a fun time this summer. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Torres for the report of the Executive Director.
Hello and good morning, commissioners. Good morning, State Board of Education members joining us today. Thank you, members of the public. I start my report with an acknowledgement of the Nisenan people who were shepherds of this land that we're meeting upon today. I recognize the Nisenan ancestors as this was their ancestral home. With respect to updates at the California Department of Education, I'm happy to announce that we have a new deputy superintendent over our Building Educational Success Together branch. Not sure if you caught that acronym, but it's the best branch in the department. Deputy Superintendent William McGee hit the ground running as our branch deputy on September 1st. And has already been fulfilling his important role at the Department of Education's executive team. He sends his regards as he's unable to attend today's meeting due to illness, unfortunately. I'll get a chance to formally introduce him to you at your next IQC meeting. Before I start with curriculum-related updates, I would like to piggyback on Chair Guerra's thanks and recognition for all of your hard work in the successful deliberations that were conducted over the summer in July. You fulfilled your roles as facilitators to help move the discussions forward during the deliberations. I also want to specifically thank Chair Guerra, Math SMC Chair Lanning, and SMC Vice Chair Reina Guerra for your leadership over the course of those 2 weeks of deliberations. So thank you for that. With the close of the legislative session, we're all well underway in implementing many of the curriculum-related initiatives that were identified in the new statute. Now, as you know, we're working on the English Language Arts, English Language Development, Instructional Materials follow-up adoption, but I do want to remind you that it's imperative that you fulfill your role as facilitators for this adoption as you did for mathematics. Please be sure to reserve the last week of April 2026 for the reviewer training and one of 2 weeks in July from the 19th through the 31st for the deliberations. In addition to the work of prepping for that follow-up adoption, our division has been working on establishing the Reading Difficulties Selection Tool Expansion Initiative aimed at supporting the implementation of the mandatory Reading Difficulty Risk Screener. We're also working to establish the Curriculum Guidance Study that will result in a report to the State Board of Education of how other states go about providing curricular guidance to their constituents, and eventually make recommendations to streamline California's processes. That report should be completed by January of 2027. Now, our work continues, and I'm deeply appreciative of the amazing Seaford staff who make all of these initiatives shine, every single one of our projects, on behalf of the students and educators of California. Thank you, team. That's all I have. I return the floor to you, Chair Guerra.
Thank you, Dr. Torres. Next is item 1H, Report of the State Board of Education.
Thank you, Chair Guerra. And I first want to join in the chorus of gratitude that Chair Guerra and Executive Director Torres has given just for commissioners, your dedication to the deliberation process that took place. And on behalf of Member Lewis and myself, I have to tell you, it was a sheer joy spending those last 2 weeks in July with you. As you facilitated very important conversations related to the math materials that will one day be in the hands of our students. And I just thank you for that. I thank all of the reviewers who took their time to be there, the publishers, and everyone who made that process a successful one. So I have a few things to share with you. And first I'll start with the ELA, ELD instructional materials follow-up process. So as you may recall, in July, the State Board of Education considered your recommendations for approval of the schedule of significant events, along with the reviewer application, the adoption notice for the ELA, ELD instructional materials follow-up. So let me tell you where we are now. The online reviewer application period is currently open through the end of October. So please, for commissioners and anyone who might be watching the live cast, please share this opportunity with anyone who might be interested in serving on the review panel. In April will be the training, and deliberations will take place in July, similar to what happened for our mathematics instructional materials review. The next State Board of Action will be at the November meeting, when we anticipate that CDE will recommend the adoption of a guidance document that is currently under development. And this document is meant to support the publishers, developers, and reviewers in applying the criteria in the 2014 framework based on evolving research around best practices. So there is a great webpage that CDE is hosting. We encourage everyone to go visit that webpage for additional information. The last part I'd like to update you on is on the State Board of Education meeting that took place last week in this very place. It was quite an exciting two-day meeting that we had. Here are a couple of highlights that might be of interest to you. One of the very key highlights, and I have to tell you, I was so excited about this particular item. It was an informational item that was presented by the CDE and county office partners on the Vietnamese American experiences, Cambodian American studies, Hmong history and cultural studies, and the Native American studies model curricula. Phenomenal. The work that went into bringing those materials to life for use in the classroom by the county office partners, the community members, all those that provided feedback. If you haven't had a chance to go through, please do. I believe at our last IQC meeting, we had the update on the Vietnamese American Studies, Cambodian American Studies, and Hmong history and cultural studies. And I believe today, we're doing the Native American Studies model curricula. Is that correct? I'm looking at Executive Director Torres to be sure I'm accurate. Again, just phenomenal material that we want to be sure gets in the hands of teachers so that they can get into the minds of students. And we're quite excited about that. The Orange County Department of Education presented 3 of the curricula to the SBE, and the San Diego and Humboldt County Offices of Education presented on the Native American Studies model curricula. And that curricula was posted on the web platform on September 1st. The biggest item was approval of several items related to the CASP, which is our California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress System, and the English Language Proficiency Assessments for California. So there were things such as the student score reports and a lot of other information. Also, around performance tasks in the area of science. So please, if you get an opportunity, because I'm sure you just have nothing but free time, if you get an opportunity, please go listen to the taped live stream from last week's meeting, just to be able to hear those presentations. You'll find it to be quite interesting and I think quite helpful in the work that you do here on the commission, as well as what you do outside of the commission. The board approved with technical edits the, what did we approve? I know what we approved. Okay, we approved with technical edits the proposed California Spanish Assessment threshold scores and the California Spanish Assessment threshold level for the 24-25 school year and beyond, and the proposed California Spanish Assessment threshold level to meet in part requirements of the state seal of biliteracy. So it's quite wonderful to be able to add yet another way that students can show and meet the requirements for the state seal of biliteracy. Also, we approved with technical edits that may be needed the proposed revisions to the student score reports, as I mentioned to you just a couple of moments ago, for the California Science Test, the Smarter Balanced Summative Assessments for English Language Arts, Literacy, and Mathematics, and the California Spanish Assessment. So last week was a chock full of great information meeting from the State Board of Education. Again, I thank you for your time and dedication and look forward on behalf of Member Lewis and myself, we look forward to a wonderful meeting today and are just happy to be in this space with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Board Member Glover Woods. Next item is 1I, approve the revised 2026 IQC meeting dates. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to speak. I will now turn the meeting over to Executive Director Dr. Torres to introduce this item.
Hello again, Commissioners. You may recall at your July meeting, I said that hopefully that was the last time we proposed changes to your 2025 IQC meeting dates. And while that's true still, we have a proposed change to your 2026 IQC meeting dates. Now that you made your recommendations to initiate the ELA-ELD follow-up adoption back in July, and the State Board of Education has now approved per the requirements of California Code of Regulations, we will need a meeting on the calendar in August of 2026 in order to receive public comment between the conclusion of the July deliberations and prior to the September IQC meeting to consider the reports of findings from the reviewers for that adoption. That date is currently proposed to be August 12th, 2026 for your consideration. happy to answer any questions you might have. Passing back to Chair Guerra.
Are there any questions or comments about the revised 2026 IQC meeting dates? Can I have a motion to approve the 2026 IQC meeting dates as presented?
I motion to approve the amended dates.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Regosa. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Young. Is there any discussion? Public comment?
There's none.
Public comment line for this item is now closed. I now call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Anyone abstaining from voting?
The motion passes.
Next is item J, Native American Studies Model Curriculum Update. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to speak. I would now turn it over to Education Administrator 1, Joanna Harder.
No? No, okay, there we are, okay. I don't think I can say any of this any better than Dr. Glover Woods just said, but what I can do apparently is bring this to you from September 24th, 2025. On the title slide there, I have an error on the date of today's presentation. So that's my mistake right there, so sorry about that. Like Dr. Glover Woods just said, we had the 4 model curricula to you last year. It was just under a year ago that Kyle and I were up here and we were presenting to you on the Southeast Asia model curricula. And they had gone live and we did a little tour of the site. And what I'm very proud to say now is we've now got 4 model curricula up there. As a short background to this assembly bill, the CDE contracted and the SBE appointed county offices of education or consortia of county office of education for these projects. And as you heard her say, there was Orange County Department of Education covered 3 of the model curricula, and San Diego and Humboldt County Office of Education both split the Native American model studies model curriculum. The money that was initially funded for this was $300,000, and those were done in contracts, but there was subsequent funding that came, and each of those model curricula did receive an additional $3.5 million, and with that, they were to also include professional development activities. And so I'm very happy to say that Orange County has been coupling with their communities big celebrations of the rollout activities that they've been doing over the last year. And there are opportunities coming up as well. We can share those those links to the web pages. Their events are free to attend. And and then the Native American Studies model curricula will have upcoming rollout activities as well. Oh, am I off on this slide? Yeah, I am. Sorry. Okay. So just this beginning of this month, on September 1st, the Native American Studies model curricula did go live, and it joins now the 3 other model curricula on our platform. The platform, again, as a reminder, was developed and is being maintained by the California History Social Science Project at the University of California at Davis. And they are the ones that helped design the platform and met the needs of what the county offices felt that they needed for their model curricula to look like. And just like Orange County had their way of setting up things, the 2 county offices for the Native American Studies model curricula did have different views and different things that they wanted to fold in, and they were able to have a different kind of look in their platform based on the needs of what they felt their lessons needed. So just a little reminder of where we were. In the fall of 2023, we had the first draft. Then in the spring of 2024, we had the second draft come in. The third draft came in later 2024, and then the final draft came in June 1st of this year. At the middle of May of this past year, Humboldt turned all their materials over to San Diego, so it was one large deliverable that came to the county, or came to the California Department of Education. And after review and approval, those lesson plans were able to be uploaded and are now live. They are working through some, minor issues when you upload materials into a platform, but they're working through that with the county offices. And last year when we had this slide for you, the fourth tile said coming September 2024. So now you will see that there is artwork there and it is live, and that is the landing page for the We Are California Model Curricula platform. Okay. Catch up my notes. All right. This is when you click open the Native American Studies model curriculum, this is the page you will go to with an explanation of the model curricula. And then once you get in there, you will see that the lessons and units are designed as place-based learning and land-based learning, indigenized lesson plans, culturally sustaining pedagogy, cooperative learning tasks, project-based learning, Project GLAD, which is guided language acquisition design strategies, native ways of knowing mock trials, and native ways of knowing design thinking for social justice. And if you see the brown tiles down there at the bottom, those are the themes that the model curriculum is designed around. History, relationship to place, cultural strengths, law and government, and cross-curricular. So when you get in there, you will see that these are individual tiles for the grade spans that they chose. And there are, for TK through grade 5, 150 lesson plans. 6th through 8th grade, there's 100 lesson plans. 9th through 12th grade, there are 164 lesson plans. So a lot of resources that are available now. And there's also professional development built in, so educators can feel more comfortable when delivering these lessons. And then this is a kind of a picture of their statewide breakdown of how they covered the engagement statewide. There's 3 different areas that Humboldt covered, which is the areas 1, 2, and 3, regions 1, 2, and 3. And then San Diego covered the rest from kind of mid-California down. And you will see over there, though, that the collaboration included federally recognized Native American tribes in California, California tribal communities and cultural bearers, Native American students and families, faculty of Native American Studies programs at universities and colleges, California County Offices of Education, K-12 educators and leaders, and community agencies that support Native American youth. And when we say that there was a large engagement, we're talking over 10,000 people level of engagement statewide. They still, when they spoke last week, they did mention too that there's still more to do, and this is a first step for them. And so they are always going to be wanting and looking for more. But they are so proud, and they should be, of the model curriculum they developed. And with that, are there any questions?
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any questions or comments? Alicia, or I'm sorry, Commissioner Regosa.
So I was really happy to be a part of the Statewide Model Curriculum Committee Council. Long name. But it was so inspiring to watch the work that was so thoughtfully done and inclusive of the tribal communities. And I think they did a really beautiful job of developing the lessons that were really appropriate to the age spans or grade spans that they were assigned. And I was just really impressed by them. And I think everybody will be excited to see. If you get a chance to go on, please go on and see and encourage your teachers to try out the lessons, because I know when I was looking through, I was like, oh, this is really good. I'd love to watch a little bit more and learn a little bit more. So I think our teachers will be really happy to have these lessons available to them. They're very authentic, and it was just a labor of love. You could see all across the state how inclusive they were of all tribes and the community. Thank you for your work.
Denise, is there any public comment?
There's none.
The public comment line for this item is now closed. Next item is item 2, Executive Committee. I call the Executive Committee to order. If you are not a member of the Executive Committee, please put your nameplates down now. The public comment line for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to give public comment on this agenda item. So we are on agenda item A, assignment of new commissioner to subject matter committee. So we are meeting today to appoint student commissioner Akaraju to the subject matter committees for the remainder of 2025. Members of the executive committee, let us consult on the survey results. They should be in your red folder.
It should be the last page on the right side.
So the ad hoc committee, the mathematics committee, and personal finance, those are the only ones with openings, is that correct?
Those are ones that, that have minimal number of members, but you can place her in any committee that you see fit.
Okay. So if we have the space, we just put her in all three? Yes. So I guess my only question would be putting her in the mathematics committee. There's a lot of action items today. So does she abstain if?
No, she would.
So if we put her in those, she would just abstain. She would be part of the committee, but just abstain from voting? Is that how it would work? Yes. So the mathematics SMC has lots of action items today that she was not necessarily present for. So does she just abstain from voting even if we choose to put her on that committee?
That would be logical if she hasn't had the opportunity to review the materials.
Okay, but we could still put her on the committee.
That is correct.
That would be the same for the personal finance because there's also action today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are agreeing to add
Ad hoc,
ad hoc,
mathematics,
mathematics,
and
and personal finance. So Denise, we're gonna add her to all three. Denise, are there any members of the public wanting to make public comment?
There are none.
I now close the executive committee meeting. Next is item 3, the Mathematics Subject Matter Committee. I will now turn the meeting over to Commissioner Lanning, Chair of the Mathematics Subject Matter Committee.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Is this what we're here for? All right. I call the Mathematics Subject Matter Committee to order. The members of the Math SMC are myself, SMC Chair Raina Guerra, Vice Chair Raina Guerra, Commissioner Bradshaw, Commissioner McGaffey, Commissioner Vang, and Commissioner Winnower. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you'd like to speak. Looking at A, report on the 2025 Mathematics Instructional Materials Adoption. Today, our primary business is to hear public comment on the program submitted for consideration in the mathematics adoption and to forward our recommendation to the full Instructional Quality Commission for those programs the SMC deems are aligned to the state board-adopted content standards, framework, and evaluation criteria. The full commission will deliberate and forward its recommendations to the board following this SMC meeting. For this item, the meeting will proceed as follows. First, I will provide a brief review of the adoption processes that have occurred this year. Second, we shall take public comment. The public hearing time certain has been publicly noticed as 11 a.m. today. Once the public hearing is concluded, we will discuss any issues related to the programs, including, but not limited to, the written public comment forwarded to us by the CDE, comment provided at the August 13th, 2025 meeting, and comment provided during the public hearing today. Before we discuss each program, we will discuss the proposed possible consent list that you should have received previously, and a copy of which is in your red folder. This list contains programs that were recommended by the review panels with no substantive public comment. If the SMC chooses to recommend a consent list to the full IQC, those programs will be voted upon through a single motion, and they will not be discussed individually. commissioners will have the opportunity to remove any program they would like to discuss in depth from the proposed consent list. Following the consent list discussion, motion, and vote, we will vote to recommend or not recommend the remaining individual programs submitted for the mathematics adoption to the full commission. I would like to hear from staff on any statutory requirements that we should consider.
Admin, am I on? Okay. I am the ed admin for the Instructional Materials and Access Unit, which oversees the materials adoptions. I'm just going to do a little bit high-level overview of what we've been through for the last year, getting us to where we are today. Item 3 represents 2 years of work culminating in the recommendations before you that were made by reviewers from across the state of California. Here is a high-level recap of how we arrived here. In November 2023, the IQC recommended the schedule of significant events, reviewer application questions, and evaluation criteria map and standards maps. Then in January 2024, the State Board of Education approved those documents along with the notice of intent to hold an adoption, officially kicking off the adoption process. Reviewer application opened April and stayed open all the way through September 2024. The IQC recommended reviewers to the State Board of Education in November of 2024, and subsequently, the SBE appointed the reviewers in January 2025. Merely a week later, the invitation to submit meeting was held where publishers and content developers had the option to participate both in person and virtually. Because we anticipated a high level of participation from publishers and content developers, the CDE held the following webinars. In September of 2024, the CDE hosted the English Learner Success Forum for a presentation on high-quality instructional materials for English learners. And then in November and December of 2024, the CDE held 3 additional webinars. Webinar 1 unpacked the components of the 2023 mathematics framework and an overview of the guidance provided within that framework. Webinar 2 provided information about the big ideas described in the 2023 mathematics framework. And Webinar 3 addressed a core principle in the framework, creating instructional materials to support systemic improvement in mathematics. Ultimately, 67 separate programs were submitted by publishers and content developers. These 67 programs were divided across 24 reviewer panels. These reviewer panels were trained in April of 2025. Reviewers received their assigned materials from publishers and content developers on May 7th, 2025. Reviewers independently reviewed the materials over the months of May, June, and July. And only 2 months ago, deliberations were held over 2 weeks here in Sacramento, where reviewer panels completed reports of findings that indicated whether programs submitted were recommended or not recommended to be adopted, ultimately by the SBE. 2 weeks after the end of deliberations, the IQC held a public meeting to receive comment, and that brings us to today. This item consists of the 67 reports of findings, which indicate the panel recommendations, as well as public comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Johanna. I will begin by reviewing some of the major steps taken in the process this year that have brought us to this meeting. In January of this year, the State Board appointed instructional materials reviewers and content review experts that were recommended by the Commission. The board also approved 9 non-commissioners to serve as review panel facilitators. On January 23rd, 2025, the California Department of Education hosted the publisher's invitation to submit meeting, where the statutory and regulatory requirements for participation in the adoption process were explained. During a week-long training at the DoubleTree Hotel in Sacramento on April 14th to the 18th, the board-appointed reviewers were trained to evaluate the submitted programs for alignment with the standards, framework, and evaluation criteria adopted by the board. On the final day of the training, reviewers attended presentations by the publishers of the programs that they were assigned to review. During the summer following training, each reviewer conducted an independent review of the instructional materials assigned to his or her panel. Deliberations were held at the DoubleTree Hotel on July 21st to the 25th and July 28th to August 1st. During deliberations, the reviewers met in panels to discuss and evaluate the 67 programs submitted for the mathematics adoption. The panels took public comment twice each day. After reaching consensus on their recommendations, the panel members developed a report of findings for each program. These reports were forwarded to the Commission and were also posted on the CDE website. The Commission hosted a public meeting on August 13th to receive public comment on the IMR CRE report of findings. At today's meeting, the Math SMC will conduct a public hearing and then take action to forward our recommendations on the program submitted for adoption to the full Commission for action later today. Many of the programs may be recommended for adoption pending satisfactory completion of specific edits and corrections and social media and social content citations. Edits and corrections are defined as inexact language, imprecise definitions, mistaken notions, mislabeling, misspellings, and grammatical errors. Edits and corrections that do not include rewrites, which include revising a section, chapter, or entire page, or adding new content to a program. Edits to a program to address social content issues must also meet these definitions. Such changes are not allowed during the adoption process. Meetings will be held with publishers to address the identified edits and corrections after the State Board takes action on the adoption at their November 2025 meeting. The Commission is not required to agree with the IMR CRE report of findings and may change the overall recommendations or lists of recommended edits and corrections when it submits its own recommendation to the State Board. However, Title V regulations specifically state that the Commission may not recommend rewrites to instructional materials. All commissioners were given the web link to the posted IMR CRE reports of findings for each program reviewed and a list of all public comments collected prior to today's meeting. The public comment list includes all publisher-submitted errata received by the CDE and any publisher challenges to specific edits or social content citations included in the IMR CRE reports. A link to public comments received is available for review by members of the audience by sending an email to iqc@cde.ca.gov. Your red folder includes any additional public comments submitted to the CDE after the most recent distribution of comments to commissioners. Publishers also submitted errata to correct spelling and grammatical errors, as well as minor edits that did not require additional content, per the California Code of Regulations. The submitted errata was reviewed by CDE staff to ensure compliance. Before the public hearing, in your red action folder, you will find a hard copy of the proposed consent list that was sent to us with the agenda. The consent list includes those programs that meet the following criteria. The program has been recommended by the IMR CRE panel, and no public comments that are critical to the program have been received. We will vote on all of the programs on the consent list as a single motion following the public hearing. At this time, would any commissioner like to request that a program be taken off the proposed consent list? I remind you that this does not necessarily mean that you are not supporting the program, just that it may require additional discussion and or further edits. We may also need to remove any programs from the consent list if additional items requiring commission action are submitted during the public hearing. Is this overall plan for discussion and public comment leading to voting on the programs acceptable to the Math SMC? Yes. Okay. All right, let's begin. Section B, public hearing on the submission for the mathematics adoption of K-8 instructional
Commissioner Lanning,
materials.
the public hearing is time certain, so we cannot do it till 11, so we need to take a break. Yes,
Is it until 11? Want to do 11?
11 o'clock. So if all commissioners, we're going to take a break till 11 o'clock, and then we'll start the public hearing then.
Thank you. Item B, public hearing on the submissions for the mathematics adoption of K-8 instructional materials, time certain 11 a.m. It is now time for the public hearing. Members of the public, if you want to address the committee today and have not signed up to speak at today's hearing, you may do so at this time. There is a sign-in sheet at the back table. You can also provide public comment by calling the number on the screen. We will now convene the Mathematics SMC public hearing on the 2025 mathematics adoption. Before we take the first speaker, I want to remind the audience of what the Mathematics SMC can and cannot do. We cannot change the state content standards. We cannot change the evaluation criteria for this adoption. We cannot delay or stop the adoption. We cannot rewrite the text. However, we can recommend minor edits and corrections, which were described earlier. Public comment will be organized as follows. Denise will announce the in-person speakers in order. When your name is read, please stand up and form a line in front of the podium. If you have written materials for the Mathematics SMC, please give the materials to Denise at the table to the left of the podium for distribution to the committee members. Denise will announce speakers calling in after the in-person speakers. Please state your name and affiliation as you begin. And during the public hearing, speakers will be allowed 1 to 2 minutes to testify, depending on how many speakers have signed up. Please do not repeat what previous speakers have said. If you agree with a previous speaker, you can just state that and allow the next speaker to comment. Speakers may not yield their time to another speaker, nor may speakers add to their time by reading comments from another member of the public who is not present. Denise?
We have 3 people signed up to give public comment in person and 8 on the phone. So I will start with our in-person. Elizabeth from CPM, please begin.
Coiner, and I'm with CPM Educational Program, and I would like to thank the commissioners and the teacher review panel and the State Board of Education for the thorough process they put into considering programs for adoption to ensure that we have the high quality instructional materials for our students. It was very thorough, and it was a great opportunity for us and all the publishers. Thank you.
Thank you. Manuel Buenrostro, you're next.
Good morning, commissioners. Manuel Buenrostro with Californians Together, and also part of the High Quality Instructional Materials Coalition. We first want to thank your work on this process. We know that it's been long. It's had a lot of meetings, and we appreciate the reviewers and the commissioners for your diligent work as you review these materials. We have a few recommendations that we submitted on an earlier letter. First, we want to acknowledge the need for school districts to have more information about the strengths that these materials might have around additional criteria. For our coalition, we have focused on the multilingual learner criteria, for example. It is our sense that the current reports might be too general and don't provide enough detailed insights into what the material strengths and also areas of opportunity and growth are, so that districts, as they make adoption decisions, can make informed decisions about additional supports that they might be able to plan for when they do implement these materials. Second, we recommend that you continue to build information and resources, including how-to guides and sharing resources from partners that help school leaders and districts decide how to build more robust adoption processes for their own local districts that helps them in their journey, and that helps them as they look at this list of state recommended materials, figure out which of the materials have strengths in different areas for their student populations, including multilingual learners and students with disabilities. Lastly, we acknowledge that as we think about implementation of materials, it's not just about the adoption of materials for school districts to consider, but it's also going to be around their implementation plan, which we hope considers strong professional development, and strong collaboration with other departments, including their multilingual departments and special education departments, so that it's not just the adoption that meets the definition of HQIM, but it's also the implementation that meets a definition of HQIM.
That's time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Benito Aranda, you're next.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Benito Aranda Comer, Policy Analyst with EdTrust West, an organization committed to advancing policies and practices that dismantle the racial and economic barrier in California's public education systems. I am here to align my comment with the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partners Coalition letter submitted on September 11th. I want to emphasize the importance of synthesizing and publishing reviewer commentary. As a member of the HQIM Coalition, I sat in on panel deliberations over the summer and saw how much time, thought, and expertise reviewers put into their feedback. The Department of Education and partners across the landscape have invested heavily in this process, and it would be a missed opportunity if that input is not brought forward in a meaningful way. Back in July, our coalition urged the Commission to consider how this information will be received by districts. Without clear commentary on how well materials serve traditionally underserved students and whether they truly support equitable access to high-quality instruction, districts will lack the robust guidance needed to make equity-centered decisions. We urge CDE staff to synthesize and publish the reviewer commentary that has been collected such that districts are able to make more informed decisions for their local context. Thank you for your continued partnership.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 8674, you may begin.
Good morning. This is Rachel Murphy with Public Advocate. Thank you for all of the work that has gone into the instructional materials adoption process. In 2023, we supported the updated mathematics framework and its focus on making math more culturally relevant for students of color and multilingual learners, as well as its guidance on supporting English learners. We would like to align our comments with those that our education equity partners have made here today, including more guidance for LEAs in selecting high-quality instructional materials and more information and resources to help families and community members better understand how the instructional materials will support students with higher needs. Incorporating these recommendations will ensure that the full promise of the mathematics framework is achieved. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 3488, you may begin.
Hello, good morning. My name is Angela Torres. I am representing the California Math Council as the chair for our State Board's Advocacy Committee, and I am here today to indicate our alignment with the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partners Coalition letter submitted on September 11th. I've been supporting math teachers across our state and large districts for the past 14 years, becoming intimately familiar with the role of leading multiple adoption processes and leading the rollout and implementation of curricula for large, diverse districts. The California Math Council recognizes that in order to achieve excellence in conducting an equity-centered adoption, our LEAs will need explicit support from experts in the field. Professional learning for ELAs leading this process will need to center instruction that builds on the brilliance of our multilingual learners and students of the global majority so that they can be fully informed to select the best materials for their community, recognizing that selecting materials is not the end of the process, but rather the beginning. We urge the state to allocate resources for this critical work, and I offer this comment in support of the HQIM Learning Partners Coalition letter, and we thank you for your leadership in this critical process. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 0044, you may begin.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Valentina Garcia Banner. Thank you for your time and effort. I am an administrator of a charter school and a lecturer at San Diego State University. I supervise educators and teach in the county office internship program. Additionally, I'm a parent of an elementary student. I am here to align my comments with the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partnership Coalition letter submitted on September 11th. As a school administrator, I aim to be the instructional leader on site. In my 20 years of experience, I have found that educators greatly benefit from ongoing professional learning opportunities like math coaching. These experiences must explicitly include implementation strategies that meet the needs of multilingual learners. This means that English language development teams must be included in planning and implementation of professional learning. When ELD specialists are part of the planning and implementation process, they can ensure that professional learning explicitly addresses how to scaffold content and language for students. This collaborative approach ensures that the chosen materials and strategies are accessible and effective for all students. A statewide adoption that includes rich professional learning opportunities like lesson studies, student work analysis, and co-teaching will help administrators like me support our educators to ensure high-quality implementation. This approach helps teachers deeply understand and apply new strategies, leading to better student outcomes. Thank you for your commitment to supporting educators in providing inclusive and equitable learning environments in which all students can thrive at the highest levels. An investment in math professional learning is an investment in California educators and students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 3678. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Melissa Gilbert. I am a parent, math educator, and member of the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partners Coalition, aligning my comment with our September 11 letter. When I observed the April 2025 IQC reviewer training, I learned that each review panel would define for themselves what constituted sufficient evidence of strengths in categories 2 through 5, including category 4, access and equity. No calibration occurred prior to the work. My April 16 public comment emphasized the need for the most rigorous assessment possible to assist districts with selecting strong, quality math materials that realize the potential of the 2023 California Math Framework for all California students. The current reports of findings are woefully lacking in useful information. Citations reference teachers' editions that are not publicly accessible. CDE staff captured detailed notes that should be synthesized and made public to give district staff and other constituents a clear picture of where each material excels or needs improvement so they can ensure adopted materials support all individual student groups highlighted in the framework, including students who are English learners at promise, advanced learners, and students with learning disabilities. Furthermore, ensuring adopted materials are adequately equipped to support these groups. Thank you very much for your attention to this process and making all the work that has been done come to fruition by providing LEAs with what they need to make very thorough decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 0491. You may begin.
Good morning. My name is Rachel Ruffalo. I'm the Deputy Director of Strategic Advocacy at EdTrust West, and I'm here to align my comments with those of my colleagues who commented earlier and our letter from September 11th that was submitted by the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partners Coalition. Since the start of the math framework's development, our coalition has partnered with state and local leaders to ensure that traditionally underserved students are centered in this process and that districts have the guidance they need to make equity-centered decisions. As we stated in our letter, a key opportunity now is to update GLEMA, which is the Guidance for Local Instructional Materials Adoptions. Instead of simply linking to resources, GLEMA should apply them directly, showing districts how to use those tools in practice. Embedding more of the framework itself, particularly Chapter 13 on navigating local adoption, with an emphasis on multilingual learners and students of color, would make the guidance a more practical roadmap. This is what districts need to make good decisions. As this process moves to the local adoption and implementation process, our Learning Partners Coalition remains ready to support the Commission and the Department in realizing the promise of this framework, the math framework, and this adoption for all California students. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 4369, you may begin.
Good morning. I'm Sally Fox, calling from San Diego on behalf of the California Association for Bilingual Education, CABE, as Education Policy Analyst. CABE also supports the concerns and suggestions provided by the HQIM Learning Community's letter. Throughout my career as a bilingual educator and SDCOE coordinator, I've been involved in implementation of various curriculum and instruction programs. We know the art of implementation means a planned, years-long process to optimize teachers' use of new materials. CABE's vision is for bilingualism, multicultural competence, and educational equity for all students. So we call out the importance of centering the needs of English learners and students of color. Please make sure districts receive guidance with a list that is curated to help them determine the most effective programs for their student populations. We also urge the state to invest in math coaches with knowledge of student populations' needs. These coaches can break down silos to develop thoughtful collaboration among math, multilingual, and special education. CABE is greatly appreciative of the important work you have all accomplished thus far. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 6331, you may begin.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Veronica Torres McLean, Assistant Director for Professional Learning at the Center for Equity for English Learners at LMU. Our mission is to support schools, districts, and policymakers through an assets-based approach, and we commend your leadership in ensuring high-quality instructional materials for all students, especially English learners. And we're also part of the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partners Coalition. For Agenda Item 3B, in alignment with a letter that was submitted by the Coalition on September 11, we offer two recommendations. First, in agreement with commentary provided earlier to strengthen and publish reviewer commentary, we recommend that the GLIMA, the Guidance for Local Instructional Materials, should be to explicitly support multilingual learners, offer differentiated guidance for educators, family, and governance teams, and set a clear equity standard for adoption. And we recommend resources made available by our coalition members, such as the criteria for review of instructional materials, the math adoption toolkit, and SEAL's criteria for selecting high-quality instructional materials provide strong anchors for this work. And second, as it was mentioned earlier, we recommend to create clear, accessible, quick guides to help school boards, districts, and county offices interpret reviewer reports, identify key features, and navigate digital resources effectively. These steps will make the adoption process more transparent, equitable, and effective in ensuring all students, but especially multilingual learners, have access to the materials they deserve. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Caller with the last four, 6722, you may begin.
Buenos dias. My name is Sandra Ordado, and I'm the director overseeing our English learner and dual language program instruction, and I'm aligning my comments with the High Quality Instruction Materials Learning Partners Coalition with the letter submitted on September 11. I also speak from personal experience as a former student identified as a limited English proficient learner from 4th grade to 9th grade. I know firsthand the difference that high quality instructional materials, along with strong language supports, and the difference that makes in being able to master mathematical concepts. As you consider the 2025 mathematical instructional material adoption, I urge you to ensure that the recommended list of materials embed deeper level supports that truly foster that conceptual understanding and academic language development for all students, but especially the 2.3 million California multilingual learners. Surface level strategies like glossaries and simple translations are simply not enough. Knowing the definition of a variable or just the law of cosines does not mean that you understand how to apply it. Authentic understanding comes only when concepts are taught through practices, intentionally embedded with language supports that help students make meaning and then apply that knowledge. How are we going to achieve that? By equipping our educators with robust professional development that really helps them understand how the curriculum components work together to build that mathematical understanding for all students, but again, especially our multilingual learners. Either publishers must clearly show how their materials meet the criteria for supporting multilingual learners, or the CEDE must provide reports that not only state whether materials meet the criteria, but also explain how well they address those language needs. These are multi-million-dollar investments that districts are making, and we must be equipped to choose materials that truly serve our students. If publishers fail to continue to outline how this support's embedded, CDE's transparent reporting must fill the gap, documenting how supports
That's
are
time.
integrated across the curriculum.
That's time. Thank you. Caller with the last four, 2226, you may begin.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Pariso, and I am a 7th grade math teacher and Teach Plus Senior Policy Fellow. I align my comment today with the High Quality Instructional Materials Learning Partners Coalition letter submitted on September 11th. And I'm here to advocate for funds to support professional development and integrated ELD. This is my 21st year teaching middle school math and my 10th year in Wainimi Elementary School District, where 86% of students are Hispanic or Latino and 44% multilingual learners. When I first arrived in this district, I struggled. As a white educator with little knowledge of my students' language and culture, I didn't know how to give them the support they deserved. I know many other educators are facing the same challenge right now. That's why the state must ensure any adoption of high-quality instructional materials includes funding for professional development and integrated ELD. Materials alone are not enough. Without strong implementation and professional learning, high-quality instructional materials cannot achieve its promise. Thank you.
Thank you. There is no further public comment.
Thank you. Are there any additional speakers wishing to address the Math SMC here?
There are none.
Thank you for your thoughtful input and advocacy. I adjourn the Mathematics SMC public comment hearing on the mathematics adoption for kindergarten through grade 8. I want to thank today's speakers and express the appreciation of the Commission for the interest, time, and effort each of you have contributed to present your views to us today. Item C, Subject Matter Committee recommendations to the full Commission on the submissions for the 2025 Mathematics Instructional Materials Adoption, K-8. Now that we have held our public comment hearing, we will conduct any necessary discussion and then make our motions to recommend programs to the full Commission. As a quick note for everyone before we proceed, the number of recommended programs we will be taking action on today exceeds 5 programs per grade level, meeting the requirement of Ed Code Section 60200E. Before we begin motions on the individual programs, I would like to entertain a motion for the consent list. But before I do, I would like to ask one more time if any commissioner on the SMC would like to remove any programs from the consent list. As a reminder and for public information, the programs on the consent list are Publisher, Accelerate Learning Incorporated, STEM Scopes, program title, STEM Scopes Math California, grade level K-8. Publisher, Accelerate Learning Incorporated, program title, Math Nation California, grade level K-8. Publisher, Agile Mind Educational Holdings Incorporated, program title, California Middle School Mathematics, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Amplify Education Incorporated, program title, Amplify Desmos Math California, grade level K-8. Publisher, Barobo Incorporated, program title, RoboBlocky Math, grade level K-8. Publisher, Big Ideas Learning, LLC, program title, California Math and U, grade level K-5. Publisher, Big Ideas Learning, LLC. Program title, California Math and U, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Carnegie Learning, Incorporated. Program title, California Clear Math, K5, grade level K5. Publisher, Carnegie Learning, Incorporated. Program title, California Clear Math 6-8, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Center for Mathematics and Teaching, Incorporated. Program title, Math Links Core, grade level 6-8. Publisher, CPM Educational Program. Program title, Core Connections, 3rd edition, grade level 6-8. Publisher, CPM Educational Program. Program title, Inspiring Connections, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Curriculum Associates. Program title, California Mathematics, California, grade level K8. Publisher, EdGems Math, LLC. Program title, California EdGems Math 1, 2, and 3, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Great Minds PBC. Program title, Eureka Math Squared, California, grade level K5. Publisher, Great Minds PBC. Program title, Eureka Math Squared, California, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Heinemann, a division of Greenwood Publishing Group, LLC. Program title, California Math Expressions, grade level K6. Publisher, HMH Education Company. Program title, HMH Into Math, California, grade level K5. Publisher, HMH Education Company. Program title, HMH Into Math, California, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Imagine Learning, LLC. Program title, Imagine IM, California, grade level K6. Publisher, Imagine Learning, LLC. Program title, Imagine IM, California, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Inova Math Education, Incorporated. Program title, Thinking Math, grade level K5. Publisher, IXL Learning, Incorporated. Program title, Take Off by IXL, grade level K5. Publisher, Kendall Hunt Publishing Company. Program title, IMKH California, grade level K5. Publisher, Kendall Hunt Publishing Company. Program title, IMKH California, grade 6-8, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Kidum. Program title, Kidum IM version 360 California, grade level K5. Publisher, Kidum. Program title, Kidum IM version 360 California, grade level 6-8. McGraw-Hill, Publisher McGraw-Hill, LLC. Program title, California Reveal Math K5, grade level K5. Publisher, McGraw-Hill, LLC. Program title, California Reveal Math 6-8, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Mid-School Math, LLC. Program title, Core Curriculum by Mid-School Math, grade level 5-8. Publisher, Mind Education. Program title, Insight Math California, grade level 6K6. Publisher, Open Up Resources. Program title, Open Up Resources K8 Math California Standards, grade level K8. Publisher, Paradigm Math LLC. Program title, Paradigm, grade level K6. Publisher, Paradigm Math LLC. Program title, Paradigm, grade level 6-8. Publisher, Savvis Learning Company. Program, Envision plus California Mathematics, grade level K8. Publisher, Savvis Learning Company, LLC. Program, Experience Math California, grade level K8. Publisher, The Math Learning Center. Program, Bridges in Mathematics, grade level K5. Publishers, TPS. Program, STEAM into Big Ideas Mathematics, grade level K8. Algebra 1. Publisher, Accelerate Learning Incorporated. Program, Math Nation California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Agile Mind Educational Holdings Incorporated. Program, California Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Amplify Education Incorporated. Program, Amplify Desmos Math California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Barobo Incorporated. Program, RoboBlocky Math Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Big Ideas Learning LLC. Program, Algebra 1 Concepts and Connections for California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Carnegie Learning Incorporated. Program, California Clear Math Algebra, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Curriculum Associates. Program, California Mathematics California, Classroom Mathematics California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, EdGems Math LLC. Program, Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Great Minds PBC. Program, Eureka Math Squared California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, HMH Education Company. Program title, HMH Into Math California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Imagine Learning LLC. Program title, Imagine IM California, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Kendall Hunt Publishing Company. Program title, IMKH California, Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, KIDM. Program title, KIDM IM version 360 California, Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, McGraw-Hill LLC. Program title, California Reveal Math Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Open Up Resources. Program title, Open Up Algebra 1 California Standards, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, Savis Learning Company LLC. Program title, Envision Plus California Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Publisher, TPS. Program title, STEAM into Big Ideas Algebra 1, grade level Algebra 1. Mathematics 1. Agile Mind Educational Holdings Incorporated, California Intensified Mathematics 1, program as a program title, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Amplify Education Incorporated. Program title, Amplify Desmos Math California, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Barobo Incorporated. Program title, RoboBlocky Mathematics 1, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Big Ideas Learning LLC. Program title, Integrated Mathematics 1 Concepts and Connections for California, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Carnegie Learning Incorporated. Program title, California Clear Math Integrated Math 1, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Imagine Learning LLC. Program title, Imagine IM California, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Kendall Hunt Publishing Company. Program title, IMKH California Integrated Math 1, grade level Math 1. Publisher, McGraw-Hill LLC. Program title, California Reveal Math Integrated Mathematics 1, grade level Math 1. Publisher, Open Up Resources. Program title, Open Up Math 1 California Standards, grade level Math 1. Do any commissioners have any recommendations to remove any programs from the consent list? I need a motion to recommend the programs on the consent list, or amend it if it is, but it's not, to the full commission.
I so move.
Can I back up just for a second, so I make sure I want to have the language correct? I need a motion to recommend the programs on the consent list to the full commission with minor edits and corrections as noted in the IMR CRE report of findings, with any social content citations recommended by the review panel, or with any publisher criteria errata, printing errors, and administrative updates that were submitted to CDE.
I so move.
Thank you. The motion has been made by Commissioner Reyna Guerra. Is there a second to the motion?
I move. I motion or second the motion. Excuse me.
Thank you. The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Bradshaw. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, there's a couple of concerns I have in general, and it's not to remove publishers or programs, but more in terms of the process, a concern that I had. And so maybe this is something to think about moving forward with the next adoption, I know in several years. One of the things that came up was Category 1 in particular, some of the criterion for that category. For instance, let's say criterion 1.2. So, you know, with discussions, debates, concerns brought up, there was really no calibration across the board, and I know a public comment has mentioned that in regards to another category. My category 1 has to have all the criterion met. And so when you get into things like criterion 1.2, and I'm just picking on that one because that's the one I remember having the most robust conversations about through public comments and, you know, just thinking about the process in general, perhaps there could be more guidance there, whether there are more sub-bullets to just the general statements, because the way the statement is written, it almost seems like it's two disjoint thoughts. And so one is saying like, hey, follow the framework, and then you have another piece to it that almost, I don't want to say invalidates it, but it's very loose in terms of its interpretation. So I would really like to see in the future more guidance or calibration going on during trainings when we have all the panelists in session.
Thank you. And I want just to remind all of our commissioner colleagues that criterion 1.1 is aligned to the standards, and criterion 1.2 is consistent with the framework. So I'm hearing that you would like a guidance on 1.2.
Especially 1.2, and I would even, and I'm just giving 1.2 as an example, but I would say 1.1, the standards are laid out. It's really the other criterion for that category. And I know just based on public comment from August 13, I'm just pointing out criterion 1.2 as the example, because what does that even mean? And if every panel, you know, depending on the panel, a program may get pushed forward by one panel, but another program may not. And just based on whatever that particular group decided was acceptable for 1.2, if we don't have a little bit more standardization, my fear is that some programs will get passed and others will not be, or excuse me, adopted, and other programs wouldn't. And they could be very similar in terms of the way they address the criterion in category 1 as the example. The other categories are just asking for strengths, and there's a lot more statements within those categories, so that's a little bit different, and you know, there's more interpretation I think to be had there. But that category 1 is like the essence. That was the most important one, because every single item had to, I mean, the group had to say, yes, this criterion has been met, whereas the other categories did not. And so my concern is one group to the next has different standards, and then that means some publishers may go through, others may not, and yet they may have addressed a criterion statement the exact same way, but one gets adopted and one does not.
Thank you, Commissioner Bradshaw. Okay. Is there any public comment on the motion, Denise?
There is none.
All right. Let's conduct a vote.
IQC Chair Guerra. IQC Chair Guerra.
We're voting. So if we could please vote. Oh, I'm voting, sorry. Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was a roll call.
SMC Chair Lanning.
Yes.
SMC Vice Chair Reina Guerra.
Yes.
Commissioner Bradshaw.
Yes.
Commissioner Vang.
Yes.
Commissioner Winower.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Perfect. Now that we have addressed the consent list, I will turn the SMC meeting over to my vice chair, Commissioner Reina Guerra. We will discuss the remaining programs in alphabetical order by publisher.
Actually, I'm sorry, I just forgot that Commissioner Akaraju is new to this SMC, so your vote, yes, no, or abstain?
Abstain.
Thank you. Thank you, sorry.
Thank you, Commissioner Lanning. Some notes to consider as we make our motions for the individual programs. All motions are made in the affirmative to recommend the program to the full commission. If the motion passes, the program will be recommended by the Mathematics Subject Matter Committee, or SMC, to the full commission. If the motion fails, the program will not be recommended by the SMC to the full commission. The order of this process is as follows: motion, second, discussion, roll call. So first, a motion will be made for each program. To save time, we will have SMC Chair Lanning make the motion in each case. Remember that making the motion does not obligate the commissioner to vote a certain way. I will then ask for a second on the motion. Once the motion is made and seconded, commissioners will then have an opportunity to discuss any issues they have before the final vote. A roll call vote will be taken on each motion. There are 5 voting members of the Mathematics Subject Matter Committee, so it takes 3 votes in the affirmative to recommend a program. Our first program is Pathway to Careers, Algebra 1. Panel 23 did not recommend this program for adoption by the SBE and included in their report of findings 5 edits and corrections, and they identified 0 social content citations. I need a motion to recommend Pathway to Careers, Algebra 1 to the full commission with minor edits and corrections as noted in the IMR-CRE report of findings, with any other edits and corrections identified by the commission, and with any publisher submitted errata or printing errors and administrative updates that were submitted to the CDE.
I so move.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second the motion.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Winower. Is there any discussion? Oh, let's see. Apologies, I have 2 stacks going here. Okay, let's conduct the vote.
IQC Chair Guerra.
No.
SMC Chair Lanning.
No.
SMC Vice Chair Reina Guerra.
No.
Commissioner Bradshaw.
No.
Commissioner Vang.
No.
Commissioner Winower.
No.
Commissioner Akaraju.
I abstain.
Thank you. The motion does not pass.
Let's address the next program. Our next program is Savas Learning Company, LLC, Envision Plus California Integrated Mathematics 1. Panel 12 did not recommend this program for adoption by the SBE and included in the report of findings 9 edits and corrections, and they identified 0 social content citations. I need a motion to recommend Savas Learning Company LLC and Vision Plus, California Integrated Mathematics 1, to the full commission with minor edits and corrections as noted in the IMR CRE Report of Findings, with any other edits and corrections identified by the commission, and with any publisher-submitted errata and administrative updates that were submitted to the CDE.
I so move.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second the motion.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Vang. Is there any discussion?
I would like to have a discussion around Savas Math 1. I, along with Chair Guerra, had an opportunity to receive public comment during the August 13th meeting. And during that meeting, we heard from Savas, and I think at the core in question is the availability of material prior to the May 7th, 2025 deadline. During the presentation of materials to support deficits for criterion 1.1 and 1.2, I asked about the timing of the materials presented to the panelists. I want to make it known that I was actually present during the publisher public comment time for this program and witnessed firsthand that the materials for these deficits were being delivered to the panelists, and they did not have time to review these materials properly. It was rushed, and I feel that they did not adequately evaluate these materials for strengths and deficits. I'm not confident that we are presenting properly vetted materials to the IQC, in the broader IQC. I'm thinking about honoring the time and the commitment of the panelists and the integrity of the process. And for that reason, I will not be voting to move this forward to the IQC. I want to add that this was a challenge for me, both personally and professionally. I feel as though we owe it to the students in the state of California to present them with high quality instructional materials. And I really had to weigh their ability to present panelists in a timely manner and comply with the process that we had with what was ultimately presented as their finalized materials. And in the end, I believe that the experts were at the table. The experts were the ones who had the opportunity to review the materials from May forward and not in a rushed manner at the table. And unfortunately, we are here in this position today, and I don't feel as though we should honor a program that has not been properly vetted. And so with that, we'll move forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Lanning. If there's no further discussion, we can conduct the vote.
I would just like to add again, criterion 1.2. So once again, what is acceptable and what is not. And as Commissioner Lanning said, that whole vetting process, and everyone did, do their due diligence. And I just want to express again my concern in general regarding Category 1 and the lack of calibration.
Thank you, Commissioner.
IQC Chair Guerra?
No.
SMC Chair Lanning?
No.
SMC Vice Chair Reina Guerra?
No.
Commissioner Bradshaw?
No.
Commissioner Vang?
No.
Commissioner Winower?
No.
Commissioner Akaraju?
I abstain.
Thank you. The motion does not pass.
All right, let's address the next program. Our next program is TPS, STEAM into Big Ideas Math 1, Mathematics 1. Panel 11 did not recommend this program for adoption by the SBE and included in the report of findings 0 edits and corrections, and they identified 0 social content citations. I need a motion to recommend TPS, STEAM into Big Ideas Math 1, Mathematics 1, to the full commission.
I so move.
And I do have a few criteria, so before we move. So that would be with minor edits and corrections as noted in the IMR CRE report of findings, with any other edits and corrections identified by the commission, and with any publisher submitted errata and administrative updates that were submitted to the CDE.
I so move.
Can we pause for a second? I believe there is an issue with the talking points that we should be taking public comment before taking the vote for each of these 3 programs. So if we can.
There's no public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We may proceed.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Vang seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Do we need to ask for public comment right here? Do we have any public comment, Denise?
There's no public comment.
We are ready for the vote.
IQC Chair Guerra?
No.
SMC Chair Lanning?
No.
SMC Vice Chair Reina Guerra?
No.
Commissioner Bradshaw?
No.
Commissioner Vang?
No.
Commissioner Winower?
No.
Commissioner Akaraju?
I abstain.
The motion does not pass.
That concludes our voting. I want to thank you for your thoughtful discussion and actions today. Our recommendations will be considered by the full commission following a second public hearing.
Thank you. I now close this meeting of the Mathematics SMC.
Thank you, SMC Chair Lanning. Next item is number 4, Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee. I call to order the that goes to Commissioner Bradshaw.
I call to order the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee. The members of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee are Subject Matter Committee Chair McGaffey, myself, Commissioner Hernandez, Commissioner Lanning, Commissioner Winowar, and Commissioner Zepeda. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to speak. Is there any public comment, Denise?
Not as of right now.
Oh, wait, okay. So, draft of the 2026 Personal Finance Curriculum Guide. Number 1, recommend to the full IQC approval of the draft 2026 Personal Finance Curriculum Guide for the 30-day public review and comment period. Today, we are taking action on the draft Personal Finance Curriculum Guide. At our July meeting, this subject matter committee and the full commission reviewed and discussed the initial draft of the curriculum guide. I'd like to thank the lead writer, Jeff Allen of Fresno Unified School District, as well as Matt Hayes of San Diego County Office of Education for their responsive and thorough edits of this document based on the feedback they received in July, as well as through public comment. I look forward to our discussion of the revised draft, but first, Dr. Jennifer Bentley, Education Administrator for the Standards and Curricular Guidance Unit, will provide some context for today's discussion and action.
Hello, Commission. As you know, AB 2927 required the IQC to develop and recommend to the State Board a curriculum guide and resources for a separate standalone one-semester course in personal finance. This guidance aims to assist teachers and administrators in California's local educational agencies as they implement a new personal finance course requirement beginning in the 2027-28 school year and a new personal finance graduation requirement beginning in 2030-31. As SMC Vice Chair Bradshaw mentioned, the draft curriculum guide has been revised in response to the Commission's feedback, as well as public comment received at your July 2nd meeting. I want to take a moment to highlight a few of the more substantial revisions represented in this current draft. First, relating to multilingual learners and long-term English learners, language referencing both multilingual learners and LTEL students supports was added to the equity and accessibility section. In Chapter 2, references to the ELD standards were added where the guide outlines alignment across California's personal finance requirements and relevant state and national standards. In addition, 2 new vignettes were added. The first showing how a personal finance task can be scaffolded to support the 3 ELD proficiency levels identified in the ELD standards. The second vignette demonstrates how a teacher can draw on the California ELD standards to ensure their lesson on comparing different types of insurance supports long-term English learners by focusing on both content understanding and language development. Narrative has also been added to include a list of instructional strategies known to benefit the skill development of long-term English learners. These include explicit instruction in academic language and literacy, as well as emphasizing oral language and development, providing explicit instructions and models, addressing key cognitive and language functions required for academic tasks, the use of graphic organizers as scaffolds, building background knowledge, building relevance, affirming language and culture, as well as maintaining rigor. Next, relating to the waiver authority in the budget trailer bill, new language was added explaining that LEAs have been granted the authority to waive the 1-semester economics requirement, beginning with the graduating class of 2030-31. It encourages LEAs to carefully consider the economics topics that will not be addressed in a personal finance course and suggests that some LEAs may wish to maintain both courses or expand economics-themed electives. Others may explore ways to embed these concepts into existing courses, such as American government or US history. Finally, relating to artificial intelligence. A vignette was added in which a teacher demonstrates how AI tools can be used thoughtfully to support financial research as students develop detailed, personalized budgets based on a hypothetical career path. The project's conclusion includes student reflection on their experience using AI and a consideration of how responsible digital literacy and emerging technology can support real-world financial planning. There were a number of other edits and additions to the guide in this round of revisions, and myself and staff, as well as writers Jeff Allen and Matt Hayes, are here to discuss any of those if you wish. The purpose of this agenda item, however, is to allow you time to discuss the draft and request any additional revisions, knowing that the public will also be providing feedback on the draft you move forward. You will then ask the full Instructional Quality Commission to take action to direct the writers and staff to make these revisions before it goes out for its first public review and comment period. You will also ask the IQC to delegate SMC Chair McGaffey and Vice Chair Bradshaw to review and approve the requested changes to the draft curriculum guide after the writers have made them and prior to the posting for public comment period. The month-long public review and comment period will run from October 1st through October 31st, 2025. CDE staff will compile the comments received from the public and you will review them ahead of your March 2026 meeting. You will then take action to recommend the revised draft of the Personal Finance Curriculum Guide to the State Board for approval in May of next year to meet the legislative deadlines. If there are any questions about the next steps in the development of this document, I'd be happy to answer them. I also have our lead writer, as I mentioned, Jeff Allen from Fresno Unified School District, along with Matt Hayes from the San Diego County Office of Education, who also contributed to the draft and revisions.
Thank you, Dr. Bentley, and welcome Mr. Allen and Mr. Hayes. Commissioners, this is our opportunity to discuss the revisions and provide any additional feedback on the draft personal finance curriculum guide.
I just want to thank the writers for taking our comments into account and really reflecting English learners more explicitly in the new guide. So I really appreciate the additional vignettes and guidance around supporting English learners and long-term English learners. You know, I always want more, but it's good. Thank you.
I also want to express my appreciation. I deeply appreciate, though, the AI integration. You know, we all know that digital literacy and emerging technology is everywhere, right? And we need to support our students. So inclusion is incredibly important as we're looking for real-world financial planning solutions for our students.
I'd also like to thank the writers for the additional changes that were made, especially addressing some of the economics topics that may be left out of a one-semester course if the general economics course is waived. So I appreciate the addition of the topics and things that should be considered. Any other comments or discussion?
I also want to share my appreciation for adding the components in terms of English learners and long-term English learners. I think that's a critical piece, so thank you, Commissioner Guerra, for bringing that up. I did have a question in regards to topic number 8. And so topic number 8 has to do with investing and wealth building strategies. And so in the why it matters, we can see that part of the description is that in addition to stocks, bonds, retirement accounts, home ownership remains as one of the most accessible and culturally significant forms of long-term asset building in the United States, which I think it's critical. However, when I look at the learning outcomes, it doesn't seem like it's adequately addressed. So I wanted to see if there's a possibility of addressing that. And then my last question is in regards to comparing investment options. That first bullet, would you include cryptocurrency as well?
Yes, we can definitely discuss including those, and cryptocurrency is addressed in the curriculum guide as a whole, but we can also discuss having it in that section. Thank you.
Dr. Bentley?
Thank you.
With regard to the trailer bill, forgive me because I am not schooled in this area. Beginning with the graduating class of 2030-31, it's saying LEAs have been granted the authority to waive the one semester economics requirement. That's indefinite though, correct?
It's not, they don't have to renew it every year.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
At least as the bill stands now, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional comments, feedback, or discussion? Okay. We are now ready to take action on the draft curriculum guide. There will be 2 motions. The first will be to recommend the draft curriculum guide to the full IQC. The second will be to ask the full IQC to delegate the chair and the vice chair of the subject matter committee to work with staff and the writers as they make the changes that are approved by the commission. I need a motion from a personal finance subject matter committee member to recommend to the full Instructional Quality Commission that the draft curriculum guide be sent out for a public review and comment period during the month of October with the changes we have agreed to today.
I recommend to the full Instructional Quality Commission that the draft curriculum guide be sent out for a public review and comment period during the month of October with the changes we have agreed upon today.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
Let's see, the motion was made by Commissioner Lanning, and then the second has been, the motion has been seconded by Commissioner Winawar. Is there any public comment on the draft personal finance curriculum guide? You will have 1 minute for your comments.
We do. We have 9 people in person, so I will call you up in groups of 3 so you can line up. First is going to be Kara Bartel, then Olamide, and then Claudia. So you can line up back there. And Kara, you may begin when you're ready.
And those here from the public, my name is Kara Bartel from the College Board. In regard to Agenda Item 4, California law requires a standalone personal finance course that is not combined with any other course. AP Business with Personal Finance not only meets that standard, it exceeds it. It also helps solve a bigger challenge schools face, students already struggling to fit all current graduation requirements and required A to G courses into their schedules while still having room for enriching, relevant electives. Launching in 26-27, it is a 2-semester AP course built on rigor, relevance, and real-world application, and it is built to align with A to G requirements as all other AP courses already do. This is not simply a finance course with a business course rather with finance added in. Personal finance concepts are included in 55% of the course topics, addressing 100% of the national standards for personal financial education. The statute also allows topics directly relevant to personal finance, and business fits squarely within that. Understanding credit, risk, and investment in organizations strengthens students' own financial decisions. A student recently shared, everyone should be literate when it comes to finance because everyone's going to have to deal with money. This course helps with that. As the state's draft curriculum guide notes, districts may choose a year-long course to enable enrichment and projects, exactly what AP Business with Personal Finance provides. Unlike any other personal finance course in California, it ensures mastery through a nationally recognized AP exam developed by colleges and industry. Students gain not just essential life skills, but also the chance to earn college credit and GPA bonuses. AP Business with Personal Finance is more than a compliance course. It's a powerful addition to a school's catalog, giving all students another pathway to meet graduation requirements, prepare for their financial futures, and align to college and career expectations. We urge the Commission to recognize AP Business with Personal Finance as a course that fulfills the graduation requirement and equips all students with the tools to manage their financial futures. Thank you.
Thank you. Olamide, you're next. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly.
No, that was good. Thank you. Good afternoon, all. My name is Olamide Babatunde, and I'm the Senior Director of Youth Leadership and Policy at MyPath, a Bay Area nonprofit that provides financial education, guaranteed income, student loan forgiveness counseling, and financial mentoring to youth and young adults around the country. At MyPath, we work with students who often have zero experience with financial institutions or financial education. And we ensure that they're not just learning financial concepts, but actually building the skills, access, and confidence to use them. This is what we call financial capability. So through our work with youth, cities, financial institutions, and organizations like the National Endowment for Financial Education, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the Federal Reserve Bank, we've seen firsthand what it takes to help young people succeed financially, and we participated in a third-party research study that examined the impact of combining financial capability curriculum with youth employment programs. The study found that this combination produced meaningful financial outcomes for youth, and that those outcomes were even stronger when young people received education directly from their peers versus adults. So, as you continue to revise and update the curriculum guidelines, we ask you to include elements of financial capability in the guidelines. We ask you to include structured opportunities for youth to provide their input on the guidelines, by encouraging LEAs to have youth advisory groups that they can tap into and make sure that they get the feedback and direct input from youth. And we also ask that you have opportunities for youth to help deliver the content themselves, or at least assist in delivering the content with teachers. We know from our experience that this will make the work even more powerful and relevant for students across California. Thank you.
Thank you. Claudia, you'll be next, and after that will be Frida, Moises, and Joanna.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Claudia Villacana, and I'm a parent with children in the San Francisco Public Schools and have nearly a decade of experience in financial education in higher education. I created the peer-to-peer financial wellness program at UC Berkeley and consulted with universities nationwide on similar programs. I'm so glad, first of all, that California has adopted a financial education requirement for high school, because in my experience, starting financial education at the college level is often too late. Financial education requirements across the country have had mixed results, especially when it comes to creating sustained behavior change. For California to succeed, I urge you to include both peer-to-peer methods and meaningful student input, not only when curriculum is implemented, but also when it is created. In my experience, when students help shape the programs, the result is more engaging and impactful. They bring real-life experiences and challenges that adults might not see, which makes the curriculum more relevant, practical, and likely to stick. And also, peer-to-peer models, they also build young people's professional skills, making them more employable while strengthening schools and communities' capacity for financial education. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Frida.
Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Frida Garin, and I'm a junior at Abraham Lincoln High School. I've been involved with my path learning about financial literacy and how important it is to be acknowledged at my age. As a young person preparing for college and adulthood, I believe the curriculum should be youth-centered. We appreciate the commissioner in the ICQ committee, but there is no student representative in the personal finance subject matter. One commissioner can now represent 1.6 million high school students across the state, especially in regions like Central Valley and Northern California. That's why youth voices must be integrated. A youth-centered curriculum should teach real skills like opening a non-custodial bank account, building credit, understanding taxes, and even finding a job. With students' input, Curriculum 2927 can truly prepare us for the future and empower us now. Thank you.
Thank you. Moises?
Good morning, committee. My name is Moises Mira. I go to Abraham Lincoln High School. Today, I want to talk to all of you about something that too few students know, but every student deserves to benefit from, called Kids. Called Kids is just not a savings account. It's a promise that every child in California, regardless of income, background, or income, deserves to know. It's a head start towards college or a career. It's real money waiting to be claimed, and yet thousands of students don't even know it exists. That's why I'm urging us to do more than mention Called Kids as another topic in our personal financial curriculum. We need to teach it, we need to prioritize it, and we need to celebrate it. In my end, the impact a student learns when they learn that they have a 500 or 1,500 waiting for them. Suddenly, college feels possible and career training feels within reach. Financial literacy becomes personal, not theoretical. But access isn't enough. Awareness is key. We must connect educators with Called Kids representatives who can walk students through account activation eligibility and walk students how to grow those funds. We should build lessons around budgeting exercises, goal-setting activities, even family workshops to help parents understand and support their children's financial futures. This isn't about money, it's about equity, it's about empowerment. So let's not bury Called Kids in the back of the curriculum, let's put it in the front, because there is where it belongs. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanna?
Good morning, committee members. My name is Joanna, and I am a high school student from San Francisco. I am here to talk about the importance of non-custodial bank accounts and why we need them included in the financial education curriculum. I personally have a non-custodial account, and being the sole owner of it has taught me how to manage my own money responsibly. I've been able to save, make decisions about my spending, and gain confidence in handling finances without always relying on my parents. That independence has made me more prepared for the future. But it's not just about me. Studies show that when youth have their accounts in their own name, they're most likely to save money and less likely to depend on expensive services like check cashing. Giving students this access encourages financial habits that last well beyond high school. My ask today is that the Commission include non-custodial accounts in the financial education curriculum so all students can have the same chance I did to build independence and security. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next will be Joshua, Alex, and Zucio. Joshua, you can begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua Peterson, and I'm a proud San Francisco native, and I'm a senior at Gateway High School. As a senior in high school, I want to bring attention to one of many issues, finding a job. Finding a job nowadays is way harder than past years. I have multiple friends that have been looking for jobs for the past month and still have not been able to find one. And while gathering data for our SF Fly program, we found that over 1/3 of students responded that finding an income or a job was the biggest barrier for them achieving financial security. I believe that the curriculum guide should include school districts to connect their personal finance educators with the school's career and college centers to help youth attain jobs. This will allow youth to receive a truly youth-centered financial education by giving them tools and resources to look for a job while in high school, until they graduate, or while in college. I urge you to include and implement a way for school districts to connect with the inter-school programs. As you finalize plans for the guide, thank you very much.
Thank you. Alex?
Good afternoon, committee members. My name is Alex, and I'm a student at George Washington High School in San Francisco. In a recent San Francisco-based survey of 190 students, 39% identified investment as one of the most valuable financial literacy skills they want to learn, including planning for retirement and understanding 401ks. Students recognize that this knowledge is essential for long-term financial security. The current personal finance curriculum guide already includes Topic 8, which aims to demystify investing. But students have told us that this is one of the hardest areas to grasp. To make it more digestible, I suggest incorporating hands-on practice such as simulated scenarios where students can explore investment and retirement planning in a safe classroom environment. By adding this, the curriculum would not only inform students, but will also prepare them with real skills they can confidently use to build long-term financial security. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Zucio?
Hello and good afternoon, committee members. My name is Lucio Marcellus Martinez. I am a senior attending City Arts and Leadership. As a youth that has lived in SF, I've personally seen how peers affect and influence others alike and how it varies from person to person. I personally facilitated groups of youth and students around my age for a similar purpose, and I believe that the work I did impacted, and I want to propose for this curriculum for youth to be able to facilitate peer-on-peer activities, lessons, and classes. The effects of having peer-on-peer work will allow students to receive a more personalized learning experience, as it's a youth-centered approach. A study done by the State University of Utah's 4-H group discovered that a peer/teen lead financial literacy program had an 85% improvement rate of the comprehension of what is taught in a financial literacy class. My ask for you is to promote the possibility and the idea for students to lead their own peer-on-peer groups. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That is everyone we have in person, and we have 2 callers on the line. Caller with the last 4 digits, 2584. You may begin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. My name is Anna Maria Lusardi, and I am the director of the Initiative for Financial Decision Making at Stanford, or IFDM. One of our missions is to improve the access to financial education. Our research shows how important financial education is. It affects financial decisions, not just at the individual level, but also at the macroeconomy level and at the state level. We are very happy to see the list of topics listed for the curriculum, and we would like in particular to bring the attention to topic 10, college and career financing, which we hope can become more of a topic about investing in education and human capital, with a focus not just on the cost, but also on the benefits of investing in education. So this could this could be framed as another financial decision that young people need to make, and it is potentially an investment that brings a high return, as Benjamin Franklin noted. We also would like to change potentially the list of the topics, and in particularly the order in which the topics are listed. Rather than starting on topics about the fundamentals of banking for personal use, we recommend using a fundamental of decision making and shifting that topic 1 after topic 3, the employment, and at the same time shifting the topic on insurance, topic 6, after investing, since it requires knowledge of risk and risk management, which are too early to be mentioned at that stage, while covering after investing would really provide an opportunity to cover risk and risk management and then cover insurance. In our experience, it has been a very effective way to teach these personal finance topics. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Caller with the last 48490, you may begin.
Hello, my name is Joshua Mitten. I am the lead programs contact for the California Council on Economic Education. My comments reflect my own views and not necessarily the entire organization. I am broadly supportive of the curriculum guide as written and commend Mr. Allen on balancing the tight timeline and the range of topics and input in the development of this resource. I would urge the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee, the IQC more broadly, and the California Department of Education to consider the importance of ongoing support for teachers and LEAs as they implement this law and utilize this curriculum guide. My organization has experience with the challenges of ensuring the high quality instruction actually occurs after a new requirement is put into effect. This guide is a critical resource on the step forward to better prepare students for the future and respond to the needs of the changing complexity of real-world economic and financial environments that they face. This step, however, is simply the beginning, and I urge a commitment to ongoing support for professional development, thoughtful review of implementation and best practices, and LEA empowerment to respond to disparate and varied challenges in fulfilling this law across California's diverse districts, teacher, and student populations. Thank you.
Thank you. There is no further public comment.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Is there any discussion of the motion?
Based on the public comment, I do have a question about the structure of the guide. Is the order of topics recommended, or people can move the topics where they want them? Like, you don't have to do it in order, correct?
I'm going to let our writer respond to that one. Would you?
We should be good. Awesome, thank you. It is not prescriptive, and in fact, in the guide, we do make some recommendations similar to what I believe I just heard, but we need to review that further. That a great place to start is with topic 11, which is psychological, basically behavioral economics. And for the same reason that we just heard, right? That is a nice entry point in. But to directly answer your question, they are not prescriptive. That is just the order they were placed in legislation.
Great. And then just one more thing. Also based on public comment, wondering if we could get a vignette around a simulation that was recommended in simulating investing.
Absolutely, that's a great call out, and I'm trying to think off the cuff right now. I think in some of the vignettes we might refer to some simulation, but directly speaking to investing would be a great addition and probably a fairly easy lift.
Okay, thank you.
In addition to that, in terms of investing, I feel like there's a tremendous focus on things that are correlated with the stock market. So is there an opportunity to focus on investing, like on real estate investing, which is very different? And so maybe that's a possibility to include as another vignette. Because as I was reviewing the guide, I feel like there's an overemphasis on the stock market and investing in that particular space.
So we could definitely look at that, and I will say that we were fairly intentional to try to avoid too much focus on stock market investing, because many of the curricula that we've identified are pointing out that is a much more risky maneuver than index funds and so forth. So there's a lot of speaking towards, again, just a less risky environment. And I would also point out that we had some curriculum providers discuss the use of simulations with the stock market games, and not that they aren't valuable, but they come with kind of a disclaimer that to do a stock or to play or participate in a stock market simulation over a short period of time possibly, not really possibly, very directly gives the wrong impression. You're instead, you're honoring quick rewards, right, that are oftentimes not with good investigation, but just accidental picks. So yes, the diversity would be a good call out, and we can look into that. Thank you.
Are there any commissioners not on the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee who would like to comment on the motion?
I would. I have a question really more about process and how were the different curricula that are identified in the guide identified? What was the process to vet those? And specifically asking about the AP Business with Personal Finance.
Thank you for the question. The curricula that we've identified in the guide came from a number of approaches. One, it was largely starting with the CDE website that had identified previous opportunities for financial literacy. It was then primarily myself looking into states that have also passed legislation to have guaranteed access to financial education, and so we kind of looked at what other states were doing. From there, it was internet searches, right? So, I mean, we really kind of ran the gamut in trying to identify. We were just speaking with somebody earlier today about the importance of this upcoming public comment period in October. We're hoping that additional curriculum providers will make themselves known that we just did not find, so that we could also evaluate. And the way we evaluated their curriculum, we created an alignment tool to look at the particular topics, right? How they successfully met those 12, again, 13 topics, but the 12 content pieces, how they made themselves accessible to students from different backgrounds and so forth, accessibility, delivery and so forth. So there was, and that's all in the, one of the appendix documents that's been posted, and that is, I think we left the original title, which is the Curriculum Alignment Tool. Oh, and I'm sorry, in regard to College Board, so in that question, so right now, my recommendation was, or my previous recommendation was not to include it. So is that, would you like to hear the rationale behind that? Or what are we looking at on that question?
Yeah, that would be helpful. We had several public comments about that, so.
Sure. My concern on, or the thing that raised a flag for me was the language in the legislation that specifically says it needs to be a standalone course, not integrated with others. And as the title, as the content, as the scope and sequence of the course and so forth, it was concerning to me that it did, and I know that was directly addressed just now, but it did feel like a business course with a lot of great personal finance incorporated or integrated in, but I could not get past the standalone, non-integrated.
So maybe just a comment to follow up. The process for identifying curriculum feels very different in this case than anything else we do in California when it comes to identifying curriculum. So just something to consider for future guidance is, is there a panel? Is there a group of people that are making those decisions? Is there a rubric? Like, how are we being super transparent about that process and not leaving it, not that you have unqualified hands, but not leaving it in the hands of one or two people, but maybe something that mirrors what we do for other curriculum.
One more thing about College Board that I would note is it needs to be a semester-long course. and with the publicly available information about the College Board course, it's not possible to teach all 12 topics in one semester. So it would not fall in line with AB 2927.
I had a
That. So to just add a little extra to that. So even though the legislation does say at least, right, a semester and can be as much as a year-long course, though that College Board course is, again, a full-year course, just to be really explicit about what was being stated there, there are 5 units in that College Board course. And the way, if you did try to somehow say that one semester was business and one semester was personal finance, which seems to be a way that you could possibly frame that, we didn't see a way we could not identify a way forward that would allow the course to be split on a semester basis because of the integration of personal finance for the most part throughout, if that makes sense.
May I jump in really quickly? Thank you. I appreciated the flexibility of this course. I'm a former econ teacher, and so one thing that I will say makes me a little bit hesitant is obviously school districts can decide if they would like to replace this course, replace their economics course with this course. And so because of that, and because I mean, I teach juniors and seniors right now, I know what those schedules look like. They're very, very busy. I'm wondering if there is a way to utilize some of the larger economic concepts more transparently in this curriculum. For example, the American market, right, taken specifically from the history social science framework for economics. That seems like a very easy way to be paired into the banking through vignettes, through different ideas, so that students have a larger concept of the context with which this banking, this like individualized banking really works and happens. And I'm just hoping that through different drafts of the curriculum, and I understand with education we always want to push more and more and more in there, but I'm a little hesitant around those larger economic concepts being lost because of the really kind of minute focus on personal finance. And in econ, when I taught it in the semester, personal finance was by far the unit that the students really, really engaged with, which is why I'm excited that this is a full course. But I am wondering if there's ways to go back to the social science economics framework itself and just pull some of those kind of bigger ideas, those central ideas, more transparently, more clearly into this document.
Absolutely, thank you for that. And we do have a section that tries to address that, so we can look further into beefing that up.
I just wanted to ask, because we had so many comments on peer-to-peer opportunities for lessons or learning within the document, are there any called out within the draft document?
There are. So given the document is less of talking about the specific lessons itself and more about the implementation and the identifying curriculum and so forth in Chapter 7, where we talk about outside enrichment and resources being brought in. We do talk about programs that are in existence that we think that schools could either adopt, or should arguably, either adopt or modify on their own, which are about teens going to junior high schools and elementary schools sharing those lessons, community events where family members or just community members at large come in, and those students again take the reins and teach those financial lessons to those community members. So it is referenced in a number of places. It isn't as robust in the actual classroom being called out because again, we're not, other than the vignettes themselves, we don't spend a lot of time in that classroom space in the document.
Just one more. I just want to remind the SMC that there is a 30-day public comment period that you are voting on today for it to go for the public to recommend curriculum providers to our writing team as well as to the CDE. So there's plenty of opportunity coming up for anyone who feels that their curriculum should be included to be put forward for consideration.
Okay, are there any comments from the state board liaisons? Okay, then it is time to vote. Remember, only members of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee can vote. All right. I'm going to reread the motion. So I need a motion from a personal finance subject matter committee member to recommend to the full Instructional Quality Commission that the draft curriculum guide be sent out for a public review and comment period during the month of October with the changes we have agreed to today. So, all in favor? All opposed? Does anyone wish to abstain from voting?
The motion passes.
Let's see. Okay. I would like a motion to ask the full Instructional Quality Commission to delegate to the chair and the vice chair of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee the review and approval of the agreed upon changes to the draft curriculum guide, as well as any minor edits identified by staff or the writers. For example, grammar, punctuation, word order, citations, before the draft curriculum guide is sent out for the public review and comment period.
I motion to delegate to the chair and the vice chair of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee to the review and approval of the agreed upon changes to the draft curriculum guide, as well as any minor edits identified by the staff or the writers, e.g. grammar, punctuation, word order, citations, before the draft curriculum guide is sent out for the public to review and comment period.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Lanning. Is there a second to the motion?
I second it.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Winawar. Is there any discussion of the motion? Is there any public comment on the motion?
There is no public comment.
Are there any commissioners not on the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee who would like to comment on the motion? Are there any comments from the State Board liaisons? All right. So we are now ready to vote. Remember, only members of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee can vote. All in favor? All opposed? Does anyone wish to abstain from voting?
The motion passes.
Thank you, commissioners, and thank you to the writers for your effort on this curriculum guide. I appreciate your diligence and thoughtful attention to the feedback and requests made at our last meeting. I commend your vision for supporting school districts in their efforts to ensure that all California students graduate from high school with the financial knowledge they need to navigate a complex economic environment and establish security for themselves and their families in adulthood. Thank you also to the Seaford staff who have been leading and supporting the development of this curriculum guide. I find comfort in knowing that the team will continue to provide support as the work continues. Would any of the other commissioners like to make a comment?
I actually just wanted to commend this all public comment and my educator heart as well as my motherly heart, because I also have a high schooler at home, for the students who came and took advantage of public comment, for your advocacy, not only just stating what you believe, but the research and some of your personal leadership experiences that actually came to play. I also appreciate the samples and suggestions that were very specific to the to all of us here to take into consideration, because this does impact you and those that are coming with you. So I also am excited that although we didn't anticipate the public comment, but one of your suggestions have already been granted here with Commissioner Akaraju. And so I'm excited to hear also how she starts to come into the conversation that you have all requested. So thank you again for coming and taking the time in your advocacy.
Any other comments? Okay. I now close the meeting of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner Bradshaw. And before we reconvene the full commission, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Back at 12:50. I now reconvene the full commission. Next on the agenda is item 5A, reports, actions from subcommittees to the full commission. We will begin with the action items from Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to speak. Personal Finance Subject Matter Vice Chair Bradshaw, I believe you have a motion for us.
So as Vice Chair of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee, I move that the Instructional Quality Commission approve the draft Personal Finance Curriculum Guide for the 30-day public review and comment period, and delegate to the Chair and the Vice Chair of the Personal Finance Subject Matter Committee the review and approval of the agreed-upon changes to the draft curriculum guide, as well as any minor edits identified by staff or the writers. For example, grammar, punctuation, word order citations before the draft curriculum guide is sent out for the public review and comment period.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
Commissioner Bradshaw has moved and Commissioner Hernandez has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? Is there any public comment on the motion?
There is no public comment.
I now call for a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Anyone abstaining from voting?
Motion passes.
The public comment line for this item is now closed. Next is item 5B, public hearing on the submission for the 2025 Mathematics Instructional Materials Adoption. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to speak. Public hearing on the submission for the 2025 Mathematics Instructional Materials Adoption, K-8, time certain is noon. The full Instructional Quality Commission will take action today on the recommendation for the mathematics adoption, but first we must hold another public hearing to accept comment on the submitted instructional materials. Members of the public, if you want to address the commission today and have not signed up to speak at today's hearing, please do so at this time. There's a sign-in sheet at the back table. I now convene the full commission public hearing on the mathematics adoption. Before we take the first speaker, I want to remind the audience of what the mission can and cannot do. We cannot change the state content standards. We cannot change the evaluation criteria for the adoption. We cannot delay or stop the adoption. We cannot rewrite the text. However, we can recommend minor edits and corrections as defined in regulation. We can also recommend additional social content citations. Public comment will be organized as follows. Denise will first announce the in-person speakers in order. When your name is read, please stand up and form a line in front of the podium. If you have written materials for the IQC, please give the materials to Denise at the table to the left of the podium for distribution to the committee members. Denise will announce any speakers calling in after the in-person speakers. Please state your name and affiliation as you begin. During the public hearing, speakers will be allowed 1 to 2 minutes to testify, depending on how many speakers have signed up. Please do not repeat what previous speakers have said. If you agree with the previous speaker, you can just state that and allow the next speaker to comment. Speakers may not yield their time to another speaker, nor may speakers add to their time by reading comments from another member of the public who is not present.
We have one speaker in person, Tom Hamilton from Savas Learning.
Hello, I'm Tom Hamilton from Savas Learning. I provided public comment at the August meeting in support of the Savas Envision Plus California Integrated Mathematics Program. Obviously, we are disappointed that that program is not being recommended for adoption, but we accept this body's decision and look forward to serving California students and teachers with our other programs that have been recommended. I'd like to thank the committee for its thoughtful review of these materials and taking the time to review the information we provided throughout the process. As a publisher representative, I would like to echo Commissioner Bradshaw's concerns regarding lack of calibration and consistency across review panels, especially as it relates to Criteria 1. Savvis Learning submitted 4 programs, 3 of which were recommended, and as part of the review process, we observed multiple panels and feel that any clarifications around the criteria and the required evidence to meet those criteria would be appreciated by both the committee members and by publishers in future adoptions. Thank you.
Thank you. There is no further public comment.
Are there any additional speakers wishing to address the IQC?
There are none.
I adjourn the full commission public hearing on mathematics adoption for kindergarten through grade 8. I want to thank today's speakers and express the appreciation of the commission for the interest, time, and effort each of you has contributed to present your views to us today. Next is item 5C. Approve and recommend to the State Board of Education the submissions for the 2025 Mathematics Instructional Materials Adoption K-8. Now we've heard the public comment, we will conduct any necessary discussion and then make our motion to recommend programs to the SBE, beginning with the consent list recommended by the Mathematics Subject Matter Committee. All motions are made in the affirmative to recommend the program to the State Board of Education. If the motion passes, the program will be recommended by the Commission to the State Board of Education for adoption. If the motion fails, the program will not be recommended by the Commission for adoption by the State Board of Education. A motion will be made for the entire consent list and then each program not on the consent list. Mathematics Subject Matter Committee, Mathematics SMC Chair Lanning will make the motion in each case. Remember that making the motion does not obligate the commissioner to vote a certain way. Once the motion is made and seconded, commissioners will then have an opportunity to discuss any issues they have before the final vote. A roll call vote will be taken on each motion. It will require 9 votes in the affirmative to recommend a program. Remember that as we vote, there shall be no voting by proxy. The chair may call for substantive motions made from the floor to be submitted in writing to the recording secretary if necessary. At this time, do any members of the commission wish to remove any items from the consent list? All right, then, let's begin. I need a motion to recommend the programs on the list of consent items to the SBE, which includes, I'm going to read them all. I'm not going to say publisher title. I'm just going to read straight across. And then when we get to algebra and math, I'm just going to read the publisher and the program because you've already heard them. Accelerated Learning Incorporated, STEM Scopes Math for California, K-8. Accelerated Learning Incorporated, Math Nation California, K-8. Agile Minds Educational Holdings Incorporated, California Middle School, Mathematics, 6-8. Amplify Education Incorporated, Amplify Desmos Math, California, K-8. Barbaro Blocky Math, K-8. Big Ideas Learning, LLC, California Mathing U, K-5. Big Ideas Learning, LLC, California Mathing U, 6-8. Carnegie Learning Incorporated, California Clear Math, K-5, K-5. Carnegie Learning Incorporated, California Clear Math, 6-8, 6-8. Center for Mathematics and Teaching Incorporated, Math Links Core, 6-8. CPM Educational Program, Core Connections, 3rd edition, 6-8. CPM Educational Programs, Inspiring Connections, 6-8. Curriculum Associates, Classroom Mathematics California, K-8. EdGems Math LLC, California EdGems Math, 1, 2, and 3, 6-8. Great Minds PBC, Eureka Math Squared, California, K-5. Great Minds PBC, Eureka Math Squared, California, 6-8. Heinemann, a division of Glenwood Publishing Group, LLC, California Math Expressions, K-6. HMH Education Company, HMH Into Math California, K-5. HMH Education Company, HMH Into Math California, 6-8. Imagine Learning, LLC, Imagine IMC California, 6-8. Imagine Learning, LLC, Imagine IM California, 6-8. Innovate Math Education Incorporated, Thinking Math, K-5. IXL Learning Incorporated, Takeoff by IXL, K-5. Kendall Hunt Publishing Company, IMKH California, K-5. Kendall Hunt Publishing Company, IMKH, California, grade 6868. Kidam, Kidam IM, version 360, California, K5. Kidam, Kidam IM, version 360, California, 68. McGraw-Hill, LLC, California Reville Math, K5, K5. McGraw-Hill, LLC, California Reville Math, 6868. My Mid-School Math, LLC, Core Curriculum by Mid-School Math, 5-8. Mind Education, Inside Math California, K6. Open Up Resources, K8, Math California Standards, K8. Paradigm Math, LLC, Paradigm, K6. Paradigm Math, LLC, Paradigm, 6-8. Savas Learning Company, LLC, Envision plus California Mathematics, K8. Savas Learning Company, LLC, Experience Math California, K8. Math Learning Center, Bridges in Math, K5. TPS, STEM into Big Ideas, Mathematics, K8. All of the following are Algebra 1. Accelerated Learning Incorporated, Math Nation California. Agile Mind Educational Holdings Incorporated, California Algebra 1. Amplify Education Incorporated, Amplify Desmos Math California. Barbaro Incorporated, Roblocky Math Algebra 1. Big Ideas Learning LLC, Algebra 1 Concepts and Connections for California. Carnegie Learning Incorporated, California Clear Math Algebra 1. Curriculum Associates, Classroom Mathematics, California. EdGEMS Mathematics LLC, Algebra 1. Great Minds PBC, Eureka Math Squared, California. HMH Education Company, HMH into Math, California. Imagine Learning LLC, Imagine IM, California. Kendall Hunt Publishing Company, IMKH, California, Algebra 1. Kidam, Kidam IM, version 360, California, Algebra 1. McGraw-Hill LLC, California Reville Math, Algebra 1. Open Up Resources, Open Up Algebra 1, California Standards. Savas Learning Company, LLC, Advision plus California Algebra. TPS, STEAM into Big Ideas, Algebra. All of the following are Mathematics 1, Agile Mind Education Holdings Incorporated, California Intensified Mathematics 1. Amplify Education Incorporated, Amplify Desmos Math 1, California. Barbaro Incorporated, Roboblocky Math, Mathematics 1. Big Ideas Learning, LLC, Integrated Mathematics 1, Concepts and Connections for California. Carnegie Learning Incorporated, California Clear Math, Integrated Math 1. Imagine Learning, LLC, Imagine IM, California. Kendall Hunt Publishing Company, IMKH, California Integrated Math 1. McGraw-Hill, LLC, California Reville Math, Integrated Mathematics. Open Up Resources, Open Up Math 1, California Standards.
I so move.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Lanning. Is there a second to the motion?
I second.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Reyna Guerra. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of comments to share. First, I really appreciate the multiple public comments in support of the September 11th letter in the position of HQIM. A couple things that triggered for me or made me think of. One, there was reference to the GLEMA, and we had actually just updated the GLEMA this last year. And Chair Guerrero reminded me that we added a whole section on support for multilingual learners. And that was, I would say, probably one of the significant changes was just really strengthening that lens throughout the guide. And then my second comment is about support for LEAs in this adoption process. And I couldn't agree more in the idea that we need to be really thoughtful about how we're providing that support. And typically that role has been filled through CISC, so the Curricular and Improvement Support Committee from the California County Superintendents. And they are in the process of developing an adoption toolkit. It's very comprehensive. That is something where I think we'll see many of those diving deeper types of things. And that should be released around the same time that the state board makes a decision in November. So just wanted to put that out there that that resource will be coming, and the professional development that goes with making a high quality adoption decision.
Any additional discussion? Is there any public comment on the motion?
There is none.
All right, let's conduct the vote.
Chair Guerra,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hicks, Commissioner Bradshaw,
Yes.
Commissioner Fry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lanning,
Yes.
Commissioner Regosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Reyna Guerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Vang,
Yes.
Commissioner Winower,
Yes.
Commissioner Zepeda,
Yes.
Commissioner Akaraju.
Abstain.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Now we will consider those programs that are not on the consent list. Remember again that all motions are made in the affirmative to recommend the program for adoption by the State Board of Education. If the motion passes, the program will be recommended by the IQC for adoption by the State Board of Education. If the motion fails, the program will not be recommended by the IQC for adoption by the State Board. Our first program is Pathway to Careers, NS4ED LLC, DBA Pathway to Careers, Algebra 1. Panel 23 did not recommend this program for adoption by the SBE and included in the report of findings 5 edits and corrections, and they identified 0 social content citations. I need a motion to recommend Pathway to Careers, NS4ED LLC, DBA Pathway to Careers, Algebra 1, to the full commission, with minor edits and corrections as noted in IMR CRE report of findings, with any other edits and corrections identified by the commission, with any publisher submitted errata, printing errors, and administrative updates that were submitted to the CDE.
I so move.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second the motion.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Winower. Is there any discussion? All right, let's conduct the vote.
There is no public comment.
Oh, that's right, public.
It's okay. It's missing from the talking points. Chair Guerra,
No.
Vice Chair Hicks,
No.
Commissioner Bradshaw,
No.
Commissioner Fry,
No.
Commissioner Hernandez,
No.
Commissioner Lanning,
No.
Commissioner Regosa,
No.
Commissioner Reyna Guerra,
No.
Commissioner Vang,
No.
Commissioner Winower,
No.
Commissioner Zepeda,
No.
Commissioner Akaraju.
Abstain.
The motion does not pass.
Our next program is Savas Learning Company, LLC, Envision Plus California Integrated Mathematics 1. Panel 12 did not recommend this program for adoption by the SBE and included in the report of findings 9 edits and corrections, and they identified 0 social content citations. I need a motion to recommend Savas Learning Company, LLC, Envision California Integrated Mathematics 1 to the full commission, with minor edits and corrections as noted in the IMR CRE report of findings, with any other edits and corrections identified by the commission, with any publisher submitted errata, printing errors, and administrative updates that were submitted to CDE.
I so move.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Lanning. Is there a second to the motion?
I second the motion.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Vang. Is there any discussion? Public comment?
There is no public comment.
All right, let's conduct a vote.
Chair Guerra,
No.
Vice Chair Hicks,
No.
Commissioner Bradshaw,
No.
Commissioner Fry,
No.
Commissioner Hernandez,
No.
Commissioner Lanning,
No.
Commissioner Regosa,
No.
Commissioner Reyna Guerra,
No.
Commissioner Vang,
No.
Commissioner Winower,
No.
Commissioner Zepeda,
No.
Commissioner Akaraju.
Abstain.
The motion does not pass.
Our next program is TPS, STEAM into Big Ideas, Math 1, Mathematics 1. Panel 11 did not recommend this program for adoption by the SBE and included in the report of findings 0 edits and corrections, and they identified 0 social content citations. I need a motion to recommend TPS, STEAM into Big Ideas, Math 1, Mathematics 1 to the full commission, with minor edits and corrections as noted in the IMR CRE report of findings, with any other edits and corrections identified by the commission, with any publisher submitted errata, printing errors, and administrative updates that were submitted to CDE.
I so move.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Lanning. Is there a second to the motion?
I second the, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I second the motion.
The motion has been seconded by Commissioner Regosa officially and Commissioner Hicks on the side. Is there any discussion? Any public comment?
There is none.
All right, let's conduct the vote.
Chair Guerra?
No.
Vice Chair Hicks?
No.
Commissioner Bradshaw? No. Commissioner Fry? No. Commissioner Hernandez?
No.
Commissioner Lanning?
No.
Commissioner Regosa?
No.
Commissioner Reyna Guerra?
No.
Commissioner Vane?
No.
Commissioner Winower?
No.
Commissioner Zepeda?
No.
Commissioner Akaraju?
I abstain.
The motion does not pass.
Commissioners, I want to thank you for your thoughtful discussion and action today. Our recommendations will be considered by the State Board at its meeting in November. I especially want to thank each of you for the time you have contributed to this project. As a result of your hard work on this adoption, you can be confident that school districts will have a wide variety of quality choices when selecting instructional materials aligned to the content standards and curriculum frameworks adopted by the State Board. Next item is 5D, Plan January 21, 2026 Commissioner Orientation. Public comment for this agenda item is now open. Please follow the instructions on the screen if you would like to speak. Item D, January 21st, 2026 Commissioner Orientation. I'd like to open the floor for discussion on what are the most memorable orientation activities that you have participated in, what went well in past IQC orientations, what would you like to see in future orientations, as well as desired outcomes.
I would like to advocate for Alexis to provide all of the orientation activities. I know that not everyone knows this, but she puts on a killer Rochambeau competition. So I'm really excited for the next batch of commissioners to come in and engage in those fun, lighthearted activities with us. I think those go a long way. I deeply appreciate the north, south, east, west activities as well, but I think something fun and lighthearted. I love that. And music, right? Like all of those musical activities as well. So Alexis does a great job. I would just love to have her, provide her input or plan the next orientation activities.
One thing to consider, I know, this is, I think, my third year now. Many of us are, have been on the commission for a while. But you guys do that great activity that's kind of like a trivia activity, but maybe a trivia type activity focused on Brown Act and things like, do I abstain if, I wasn't there for a meeting minutes? Like kind of thinking about some of the real scenarios that as newbies, you're like, am I supposed to raise my hand? Am I not supposed to raise my, so kind of some of those like meeting flow things we could, I'm sure you could come up with a fun activity to address some of those frequently asked questions.
Yeah, I wanted to build on what Commissioner Hicks suggested or shared. I really liked that one time where we had a simulation. I just thought that was really, it just brought to life what a meeting might feel like and what are some things that might show up. I just remember when I first came on, a lot of it was just we had to really be quick learners and readers, especially if you're running late that first day and you're like, oh, I have to do that. So I think that might be helpful. And one other thing, I think Chair Guerra, she shared a great tip, which was to read our notes that Denise shares with us. And I just think that was really powerful. So, we'll share that with our new commissioners. But just I think some logistical things, I think just so that they get acclimated to the process would be helpful.
I think, as part of the flow piece that Commissioner Hicks was talking about, also just understanding that the talking points is not everything. Like you still have to go to the agenda that's posted because that's where you're gonna find the actual meat. So like if you didn't know for example, for our agenda today, that the actual guide, the personal finance guide, that's where you find all the stuff. Like when you're first learning, like you don't realize, you think the talking points are it. You don't realize like all the like meaty stuff that you're gonna be talking about is actually in the agenda that is there. So just like little things like that.
And maybe that's something, actually, I love that idea. Maybe that's something that one of the veteran commissioners can take on. Like, what does a typical meeting preparation look like? Like, what's your process for preparing for a meeting? And then we could all share best practices. And then, I don't know, something to just like help folks understand that the very first meeting goes like wildfire. And so buckle up and be ready.
And I really appreciated the activity we did. I think it was last year where we were teaming together, maybe it was the year before, with, there were like 4 of us at a table, and we had to list out, we came up with a team name. We were like the Everything Bagels, but we kind of got to know what everybody's expertise was, because I think, you know, when you're coming on, you don't quite know, like, what's their, oh, like Cheryl loves science. That's her, you know, that's her background. She's a real expertise in that. And that kind of helps when you are trying to determine who's going to be on what committee. If you don't kind of know everybody's background, you know, you can't make an informed decision. So it's kind of nice to do activities like that where we get to know each other and our strengths. And then it was also fun when we do the reviewing, like kind of what the responsibilities of the IQC are. But the part that I think we really enjoyed was getting to know a little bit about each other outside of our professional, like, you know, what's your favorite, I don't know. It was fun. It was the pink cards and the green cards, and that was kind of fun.
That's such a great idea. I would also like to circle back to Chair Guerra in terms of flow. It would also be really helpful for new commissioners to know exactly when they can speak up on what types of topics. That concern was actually presented today. It's like, when can I have that conversation? When can I make that comment? When is that the most appropriate? So I think having those types of conversations would be helpful.
I just wanted to add on like a little bit from my end too. As a student commissioner, I think it was really wonderful to have those activities where we got to know everyone else. I like the north, south, east, west one as well. But I think maybe doing something like where it's you kind of walk the student commissioner through like a day in the life of being a commissioner. Like, I think this kind of goes back to like the meeting preparation, but like, what is it actually like? Like, we sit down, we do this, we do that, and this is what comes after. So maybe like kind of just walking us through that schedule would be really, really helpful.
I do want to add a little bit to what Commissioner Hicks shared. That first day when we, after the orientation and we're all up here, just the, when we identify who's chair for the subject matter committee, I think being a new commissioner, you may not know that if you have been identified as a chair, your role and what that comes with, as far as like making sure you listen to who's actually on your committee, so that later you can go back to, because then you know vote for the vice chair and stuff. I think that process might be, I think if we can make it more explicit and overt, even if it's just we have a discussion, and then maybe those that have been on the commission for a while, kind of talk through that a little bit, just so that we kind of know, I mean, our new colleagues will then have that, they'll be able to prepare for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you know, when we do the assignments, that it's public, right? So we're gonna be talking about you, like the executive committee is gonna be talking about you with you being there, like in assigning you. Like, that was like the first time I was like, this is so weird. But if somebody would have prepped me, that would have been nice.
I actually really appreciated the buddy system. I think when you're a brand new commissioner not from the Sacramento area, it's really nice to know who a friendly face that you're going to see at the airport, or, you know, share an Uber with as you go. So I really do appreciate that piece of the puzzle for new commissioners to come in with a buddy.
Everyone's looking at me because you're done giving suggestions. Okay, very good. Last call. Great suggestions. Last call. Anyone else have anything else you want to share out about what you want to see in orientation? Wonderful. So excellent discussion. Thank you for your thoughtful suggestions. What I hear is Alexis is going to be writing the whole thing. Thanks, Alexis. Have a safe flight. All right, we'll definitely take your notes. We've taken notes of your suggestions, and we will be utilizing that to create an orientation based on your vision. I now officially turn the meeting back over to Chair Guerra.
Denise, is there any public comment?
There's none, and I second the motion of Alexis doing the orientation.
The public comment line for this item is now closed. Next item is 5E, individual commissioner reports. This is a standing agenda item where commissioners can give a report on any committees which they represent the IQC. This is also an opportunity for commissioners to suggest agenda items for future meetings. Would anyone like to speak?
Just really quickly, I don't think we've had a chance to circle back since we had the math deliberations over the summer. I just want to express great gratitude for the CDE staff on how well that was put together. And then also, I felt so lucky that Denise was the staff person in my room because she made my job so easy. But really having two staff people in the room to support us with everything, it was, you guys did a great job. So thank you for everything.
I second that. I just felt so supported as a facilitator. I was on the other side of the table for a really long time, and then this was being my first time as a facilitator. I was just like, anytime I had a question, I was able to just go to anybody, and my question was answered. And if not, multiple people came in to check in on me as well, so that was great. Thank you.
I'd like to echo the sentiment. It was a great process. This was the first time that I had done it, and I was a little bit nervous about it, but you know what? We were very well supported. I thought that the spreadsheet that I think Dr. Torres created really helped the process move along more quickly and efficiently. It helped us get to the meat of the work instead of having to, maybe thumbs up, thumb down. And I'm hoping we can have that for ELA, ELT. Just a suggestion. I know.
And definitely bring back the pretzels and cheese, 2:30.
All right, thank you, everyone. That concludes our agenda for the day. I now adjourn our meeting.